Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this championship race for the Wicked Racing League. We are over the track of Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Buttkicker 175 championship racing here. This is Carl Pooler up in the booth with Zach Hall and, of course, Robert Moyer Jr. at the controls. Zach, we have a fantastic race tonight. We have raced 16 races, gone through 2 rounds of playoffs, and it all comes down to this race tonight.
That it does, Carl. It all comes down to this final four contenders fighting for that elusive inaugural first championship ever given out here at the Wicked Racing League. And man, what a group we have with that as Gavin Rogers comes in here tonight in that 17 machine. One of those drivers, Alex Coffey in the 7, Adam Buzzio, he'll be out there in his 21 machine. And also you're going to have Mason Hossman out there in the 78. So 4 very tough competitors and drivers that have worked their way into this position all throughout the season just to all accumulate up to this one night here. It's all about this, and it's all under the bright lights here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Racing here under the lights, no sunlight. The track is going to be interesting. Track is going to be cooler. We've noted how these tires are cool on the restarts. We will see how they handle side by side. But right now, qualifying underway. But before we get to that, Zach, I was looking at the times before our practice session wrapped up. 3 of our 4 playoff drivers, championship drivers right now, were in the top 3 of this race of times in the practice. So already these guys have put in the practice time and are ready to bring the action here tonight for Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
That they have. They've definitely been putting a lot of preparation coming in here tonight to the Charlotte Motor Speedways as we're watching now the 17, one of those final 4 contenders. 7 wins on the season for this driver here. He's been so dominant, won on multiple different aspects of driving. And one of the big things I looked at coming in here tonight for stat wise is we've went to 3.5 mile racetracks up to this point in this season. We've been to Chicagoland. Nigel Christensen was the winner there. Las Vegas, you look at the man on the screen, he was the winner there. And then the last time we were at 1.5 miles, it was the Kansas Motor Speedway, and that was where Alex Coffey won his 3rd win of the season. So it is definitely all over the place when it comes to really thinking we've only had 3.5 miles up to this point. This will be the 4th one here tonight and the deciding factor, and we've had 3 different winners so far at those tracks. Let's see if we can find a 4th, or will Alex Coffey and Gavin Rogers look to get their 2nd 1.5 mile win of the season.
You know, with this playoff situation, the championship, the way it's constructed, you don't need to win the race in order to win the championship. You just need to finish in front of your other 3 competitors. But with the talent of these championship 4 and the speed that we've seen them all have, you mentioned it, Zach, I don't think it'll take anything less than a win to take home the championship trophy tonight.
Yeah, it's, it is very well said that you can, not win this race and still get the championship, like, beating the other 3 competitors that you're going against. But I still think, as always, those final 4 contenders are usually at the top of their class at that point, really pushing on all 8 cylinders, trying to get as many, as well the much pace out of themselves as they possibly can. So I think it's going to take a win. Most likely that's what it's going to do. You never know how scenarios play out. Races can always be a little bit shook up by strategies and just random events happening. So we'll have to see and stay on top of that, but you never know. I think the win is what is going to definitely be needed. And right now, the top 3 on our board, Alex Coffey, Gavin Rogers, Mason Hossman, all 3 of them located up there. Adam Buzzio, though, he's slightly dropping back now about to the 10th position. So the 21 going to be looking at to make up some ground to his 3 other contenders in his final 4.
Well, Zach, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Team 2018 have done really well in terms of tire preservation. And up to these last couple of races, we've had a rough few weeks in a row. Martinsville, Phoenix, and then Bristol. A bunch of short tracks to come here to this 1.5 mile championship race. And we've seen tempers flare. We've seen drivers really have to kind of negotiate traffic maybe the way they wouldn't have wanted to do it. But coming to an open track like this really opens up the playbook, as it were. And not only will we see a bunch of change in strategies on the track, but in the pit stalls as well. This track will be known for its tire wear and high speeds, especially through that turn 4.
Yeah, this place is very prevalent when it comes to tire wear. This place, you have a lot of fall off. It's aged over the years here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway surface, and it really does lose grip as the run goes on, and especially like you pointed out, Carl, off of 4, you're going to see these guys a lot of times probably push the nose through the entry through the center here of 3 and 4, but as they get to this late exit here, the track really just falls away, and the rear end of these next gen cars really wants to step out at that point. So we'll have to watch them battle a lot of those conditions throughout the night, but it's going to be fun to watch it all here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, man. And we got a great group of drivers out there tonight, 23 of them. That is great to see. A very big number here for the final race of the season, and 175 laps here tonight. It's going to be a long one, so you got to stay in it till the very end.
And it will be a battle of attrition, Zach, as we are about to close and wrap up on our qualifying session here tonight. But it is definitely, we've seen a lot of aggressive driving, especially from some of the non-playoff drivers these last couple of races, trying to make a name for themselves, trying to win that ever so valuable race win. But it's going to be interesting how they will battle each other tonight under the lights for this championship race. And as it all unfolds, qualifying has wrapped up, and we can pull up our qualifying results. It's all starting with Alex Coffey on the pole position. Gavin Rogers having to settle for second. We haven't seen that a lot this year. Mason Houseman sitting there in third. All 3 of those are our playoff drivers. TJ Roberts in 4th. Stephen Borbell in 5th. Dallas Manis there in 6th position. Blaine Wilson in 7th. Nigel Christensen in 8th. Greg Rochelle in 9th. And Adam Buzzio, our final playoff driver, is going to round out the top 10.
In the 11th spot is going to be Jimmy Kubanek. 12th is going to go to Chad Bean in the 9 Machine. 13th is going to be Johnny Shade. 14th is going to go to Steve T. Cole. 15th is going to be Martin Morales. 16th is going to be Jamie Plord. 17th is going to be Richard Wolsifer. 18th is going to be Giovanni Perez Diamco. 19th is going to be Christian DeRoches. 20th is going to go to Tyler Dingler. And the last 3 cars on our field, Sam Dyer in 21st. 22nd, Alexander Light. And 23rd, going to be Christopher Norris. As we got 23 cars here taking the grid. And man, what a night here to crown a champion.
Under the lights, I can't imagine a better way to spend my Wednesday night. Zach, love being up here and ready to go for this championship race. Ladies and gentlemen, don't miss a moment. We are going to have some electrifying racing. But as the drivers are gridding up, Zach, we mentioned tire wear. The stages, we still have 3 stages. Stage points aren't going to matter, but they're just going to break up the racing a little bit. Laps 50, 100, and then 175 to wrap up this race. I have a feeling strategy, depending on if and when the cautions lay, could be huge determining this championship race.
That they really could be. And, with the 80% fuel load like they have here at the Wicked Racing League, I believe 50 laps is still going to be in the range of being able to be done. But the question is, how close will it be? And if it isn't in the range for these drivers to make it to that flat 50 stage, that's where that stage could get a little bit interesting to see how they split it up here if they stay green. But I'm so excited here as they all look to roll off the grid. It's always a special time here this time of the year where we start to crown champions, and the champion tonight will be the first one here at the Wicked Racing League, and that is always a title nobody can take away from you.
Oh, definitely not. And some of these drivers, especially winning their first race, just the race in general for this very young new league was really big for them earlier on in the season. I can only imagine what a championship trophy would mean to these championship drivers at the end of tonight. But we will get a chance to talk to them at the end of the race. So even after the checker flag waves here at Freaky Fast, we still have plenty of stuff to talk about and enjoy. So don't worry, we will come under the the green flag here soon.
That we very will, Carl, and man, it's going to be fun to see how this first stage plays out. It'll tell us a lot, but this track will go through a bunch of changes as those lights get brighter and brighter as that sun starts to fall away farther into the sunsetting evening. I cannot wait for this green flag to drop here, guys, as it's the Wicked Racing League here at the Buttkicker Cup Series, looking to crown a champion.
The sun goes down, the sparks are gonna fly tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Buttkicker 175 championship race for the Wicked Racing League. And as Barney holds the green flag, and there it is, flag is waving, Gavin Rogers getting squirrely on the start, and away we go.
Great start there, as there was a little bit of wheel spin there from Gavin Rogers, but Alex Coffey looking to control the lead here early. But Mason Halsman, a little bit of connection issues there through 1 and 2, but it all clears up there for him. But our top three now all in the final four. Adam Buzzio, that driver, on the lone man, looking outside there, fighting back in 10th.
And Adam Buzzio is going to have to drive smart. He's going to have to really maneuver his way, kind of finesse that car through the field to get up to where he can battle for this lead. You don't want to get any dings or damage. Even though this is a 1.5 mile, aerodynamics means so much here, and you don't want to compromise your race so early on in the day. As we see Alex Coffey trying to make a move on the 78 of Mason Hausman, and he's going to not take it. Mason Hausman with a deep dive down into turn 3.
Yeah, that was a great drive off into 3 there. They're able to clear that 7 machine, but we've seen this before. The 78 is willing to get out front, lead some laps here early, and, really, take the most usage of the new tires. And it's an interesting call. Some drivers are going to elect to back it up a little bit more, maybe save a little bit of tire. But the 78, he's elected to do this. We've seen him do it at Bristol last week, and it really backfired on him later because he got caught up in some bad track position. But I was still able to make it to that final 4, but we'll see which driver is able to save the most. But look at this TJ Robertson, the 3 machine at CNC Esports. He's going to try to go up here and get in between maybe Gavin Rogers and his teammate of Alex Coffey here, as that would really help that number 7 machine here later in this race.
Zach, you were talking about drivers who may preserve and conserve tonight, especially early on, and Gavin Rogers is one of those drivers. We saw him last week at Bristol. He mentioned it earlier on. He was conserving, trying to figure out how much his tires can take, and he learned he conserved a little too much. And tonight he was very confident how he would race, and already holding on to a top 3 positions. TJ Roberts is really applying the pressure now, getting to the bumper, maybe trying to disrupt the line of the 17, but we know that the 17 is laser focused when it comes to these races.
Yeah, and the 17 is one of the drivers that we've seen throughout the season really elect to, save those tires and really manage them at the start of these runs. So I think that might be a little bit of his game plan. It's also interesting to see this top groove being in use. It does look very quick right now. My concern always for that top upper groove here at tracks like this at the 1.5 miles, it always seems to cause more tire wear, more center speed being carried, and that just really abuses that tire. So you got to be careful running that top line like that. And Alex Coffey in 1 and 2, he is flirting with disaster up against that wall. So definitely interesting to see some different lines in use here are to start this race.
And I almost thought I saw the 7 get up into the wall, but we're riding along the 17 right now, and the top 3 are condensing. In fact, the top 5 you can almost throw a blanket over between the 78 and the 19 of Stephen Warbell, who's doing really well himself. And there we go. We see the 7 and the 3 go up high on turn 1 and 2, and just like that, Zach, already this track is developing a couple of different lines, and I guess the balance will be speed versus conservation. How well will the tires take it up there, especially this early on in the race where no rubber is up there?
Yeah, that's another key factor. No rubber really being laid up there other than what was in practice. It does all carry over from there, but still, you got to think that part of the track is not the most worn in here early, and it will definitely have more of an effect. But Kubanek in the 77 back in the pack here, they're all wrecking, and man, oh man, I believe that's going to be the 56 possibly in that. No, sorry, not in the outside wall. I believe that might have been Alexander Light. I can't even tell which car it is. Oh, it's the 96 of Steve T. Cole. There, as you see it on screen, he's smoking, and the caution has yet to come out still due to this incident.
Yeah, caution is still not coming out. We have cars rolling, but the leaders are on the front stretch as these damaged cars are making their way to pit road. They do have a faster pair, but it's so critical to use it early here in this run, as there's still 165 laps to go. So using it here on lap 9, on lap 10 will be very difficult to come back from.
Yeah, I thought at one point that the yellow flag did come out, but I was mistaken there. So yeah, that was unfortunate there, and just a major incident down there in 1. And I believe it was the 77 and the 96 who did make contact there to bring all that together. And I believe in the Roaches in the 23, he might have got caught up in a little bit of that. But right here, already early, some mistakes being made, but up front, Alex Coffey, that pole setter, back to the lead in the 7 machine. He's able to make that move stick. And you see now Adam Buzzio, he's starting to come into the picture a little bit now too, up to the 7th position. Got his teammate Steven Borbell right ahead of him. He'll definitely be looking to possibly get that position, but now right now he's got one of the hottest drivers in the series right now is Gregory Shaw is right behind him in the 51.
And Gregory Shaw, we've seen him have this speed. He's definitely aggressive on the restarts, and we're even seeing it up front with the 78 of Mason Houseman getting passed by Alex Coffey. Those tires only last so long. You got to really want to try and stretch that out. And you burn them up too quick, you get these temperatures up. It makes it very difficult for the car to drive throughout the later part of the run. And that's what a lot of these drivers use their first stage for, is getting used to their car, seeing how they see it, feel it handle. But right now, the top 3, Alex Coffey, Mason Houseman, Gavin Rogers, all running different lines. The 7 is way high against the wall, but back here up for 9th to 8th position, Adam Buzzio's still trying to claw his way back up to the front.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of doing it too, because man, up from 10th already here up to the 6th position. Going looking to the inside of Dallas Manis for top 5 spot, and that would put all of our top 4 final 4 contenders in a top 5 position. That'll be interesting to see that shake out a little bit, but TJ Roberts was able to get around the number 17 machine, and he's using what his teammate is there, the upper groove here, and we'll see how that continues to work for that group. But right now, Coffey with that move up to the top lost the lead there to Hausman, and he blinks out there for a second. That was almost detrimental to him, but now side by side into 3 and 4.
And here we go, 78 up to the wall. Actually, might have gone into the wall a little bit. Comes down, makes a little bit of contact with Coffey. Little bit of contact between our leaders here that makes enough loss of momentum for the 3 of TJ Roberts to get to the bumper of his teammate and help him through turn 1. And man, Zach, that was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and the 7 slides up there. I think the 78 was thinking about a crossover, and that almost got a little bit mixy there between those two as they give the push down the back straightaway. Now down into 3 and 4 to 78. Looks to hold on to that 2nd place position there, but right there, TJ Roberts of CNC Esports, he's going to be up there looking to help as much as he possibly can his teammate of Alex Coffey, and that's what you need. That's what teammates are critical. If you have a teammate that can go up here and disrupt those other 3 drivers you're competing with, it really helps out with that. But again, Coffey up to the top side, almost loses the lead to the 78 once again, but enough run down the back straightaway to pull back out to the lead.
And like you mentioned it, Zach, you just said it. There's enough run, there's enough momentum on corner exit for that outside car to be able to gain up on the car on the inside. The inside can't complete the line, can't get up to the wall like he wants to, has to cut the corners short, and that's just really helping the 7 up there. But how much is that helping versus hindering as the 3 gets into the wall on corner entry there in turn 1? But going back to the tire, whereas like this really makes me wonder how long-term these strategies are and how sustainable they can be.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how sustainable that top groove can be. And right here, TJ Roberts almost to the inside of his teammate Alex Coffey here to try to take this lead position as Gavin Rogers now all over the back bumper to the 78, who had a big moment coming off of 4 there. But right now, side by side for the lead, here comes the 3 machine. He's not one of the championship 4 contenders, but right now he's looking for every little bit of speed in that 3 machine. And right now, if he was to take the lead, our top 4 all be side by side, nose to tail here, but loose off of 2. That gives Coffey the big run down the back straight.
And Coffey with the run, the 78, Mason Houseman down the outside of turn 3. We have the 17, looks like the 21, Adam Buzzio, all in the top 5. You mentioned it, Zach, all of our championship contenders in the top 5 with the low non-playoff driver of the 3, TJ Roberts, just trying to eke himself out for a win. And just like that, he gets shuffled back. And here comes the 78, charging hard on the inside line, coming out of 2.
Charging hard for no doubt indeed, but once again, that 78 was able to get a good run, and that outside line, we'll see how it works here, but they're all stacked up, all 3 of them. There comes Adam Buzzio ripping the top side. This is going to be looking to get our top 4 final 4 contenders all in one spot, but Adam Buzzio, he touches the wall. Luckily for him, it's just enough momentum loss that he can continue to clear that 3. So now, of our final 4 contenders, all of them in the top 4 spots.
Zach, I know there's a lot of, talk about the playoff system and, what is it, how is it? I personally absolutely love it for this exact purpose. The cream of the crop has risen to the top, and we have all 4 drivers racing in the top for positions. And as we're riding along with the 51, Gregory Shaw, he's worked himself up from the 9th position all the way to 5th, and he is looking the very first car, not a championship driver, doing really well here at a 1.5-mile intermediate.
Oh, and they're almost 3 wide up front for the lead. The 78 looked to the inside of the 7 for a moment, but here comes the 17. Good run off the inside. Rogers has been patient all night long on the bottom lane. Now 20 laps into this event, he's going to try to take the lead from the 7 of Alex Coffey. And just like that, Gavin Rogers, our 7-time winner of the season, he is out front leading this field.
Gavin Rogers with a clinic tonight. He saved really on those first 15 laps. He really just kind of sat back and actually lost a couple of positions, was sitting in 4th at one time, but that was enough to help his competitors burn up their stuff just a little bit. He was able to conserve it and push himself up to the front. And right now, seen as we've seen all season long, that 17 car running in the lead. The 7, the Coffey, Mason Houseman trailing behind, trying to gain back up. But right now, Gavin Rogers with about a quarter of a second lead in front of the field.
Yeah, I mean, he just gapped the field by 3 whole tenths there that one lap, and just showing what you can do if you just manage those tires. And right now, Halsman going back to the inside of the 7, just can't make it stick coming up off the corner. The 7 holds on the second. Here comes a run from behind. There's Adam Buzzio in that 21 machine. And, you know, Buzzio starting back in the 10th position now, trying to take 3rd from Halsman here. This is not too surprising from me because, you know, I was looking through the notes here, looking through the stats tonight coming into tonight's race. Buzzio entered this race with an 8.36 average start, and that is 3rd worst of the Final 4 contenders. But the one thing he does have, he has the lowest average finish of any driver in the league, a 4.29. That is even better than Gavin Rogers, who had a 4.75. So you're looking at the driver who's been the most consistent all season long, not yet to get a win. Maybe he's saving that win for the best race of all.
What a win that would be for Adam Buzzio to get it here to secure a championship. Right now, the 3 of TJ Roberts looking to take that position. He faded a couple laps ago, but now making another charge, trying to get to the front. But Gavin Rogers and Alex Coffey trying to gap the rest of the field. The 3 making himself known tonight amongst these playoff drivers.
That he really is, man. He really charged his way up there, but I think those tires are starting to suffer a little bit now as he slides up to that top groove. Here comes the 51 of Gregory Shaw right on the bottom. He'll be trying to look to the inside, and now the 51 will be there, but the 3 might have a good enough run just to clear him, and yes, he does. So holds on to that spot in the top 5 for now, but I tell you, it might not be safe for too long. But you look back to the 18 of Blaine Wilson, usually one of the best cars on the 1.5 mile at saving their stuff. He's starting to work his way back forward after starting 7th, now up to 8th, right behind that 45 of Dallas Manis.
Dallas Manis, another driver who's shown signs of speed in these last couple of races, been up there. We've mentioned him a couple of times there in the 45 machine Toyota, but he has yet to really stand out, definitely trying to hold off this attack from Blaine Wilson. But Blaine Wilson, we've noted it all year, has been one of the best at saving his tires and being able to charge later on in the run. And right now, halfway through the stage already, is roughly when we expect Blaine Wilson to start making up space. So look out for the 18 as well as the 21, as the 21 looks to make a pass on Mason Houseman. And Zach, we're seeing it. Mason Houseman led some laps, tried to gap some of the field, and is maybe paying for it later on, but right now putting up a fight for that 3rd position.
That he really is. Buzzio, I mean, he was inches away from clearing that 70. I think he'll have his best shot here coming off of turn number 2, but it looks like the 78 going to be able to get back to the quarter panel and pull that 21 back, and that's just such a tough spot to be in if you're Buzzio. You feel like you're quick enough if you can just clear that 78, but with him being able to lay it on that door and lay it right on the quarter panel, the car really does not want to turn. And right there, as soon as the 78 pulls down in front of him, he gets that full batch of dirty air, and that car really just pushes up the hill as this group has really fell back from our top 2 as Gavin Rogers has opened up to about a 1.2 second lead over Alex Coffey, while the rest of this group has now fell almost 2.5 seconds back.
And all these drivers are doing is using their stuff up more and more as they fight amongst each other, trying to get the pass, trying to get the position. And these drivers are using their tires much more and driving their cars harder than the cars in front of them, as obviously there just looks like they're running out a Sunday drive. But this group of four right now, trying to fight for that third position, and Mason Houseman being able to take away and keep holding off the 21. But how long can that last? The 21 using the high line. You've seen the 21 have that momentum on the high line. We'll be able to make the crossover move going into turn 3.
Yeah, we'll see if he can make something happen here, but it looks to go up to that upper groove as they were trying to make something happen. But you see right here, the 38 Christian Horst, our biggest mover of the race, 23rd up to 10th. Great drive for the 83 machine up to this spot as he's got Jamie Port, his next driver, up ahead. We'll see if he can look to close that down, but a big gain already for this 83 machine.
And a person on the flip side of that is Dallas Manis. He started 6th there in the 45 Toyota. He is now down to 8th and under attack from the 38 of Plord. And right now, Dallas Manis really struggling with the handling of that car, trying to get it to turn, but a couple of laps ago, he was in that 7th position, and he's slowly falling back as it looks like this group of 7th, 8th, and 9th trying to catch up to the 3rd through 6th position and maybe just making it work. But look at that, 3 lanes going into turn 1. You can't tell me, Zach, that isn't great racing here at Charlotte. We love seeing that multi-lane racing.
That is it puts a smile on my face as a driver when you can see all different grooves being utilized here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and that's what we want to see. You're looking for clean air, you got to go somewhere and find it, they say, so you got to get up there and go up the racetrack. But we fall farther back here. This is about the 12th, the 13th, and around the 14th position is this going to be Tyler Dingler up to 13th with Mark Morales, his teammate, right there ahead of him in 12th. Stephen Borbell dropping all the way back from 5th here from that start position back to this 14th position. It's been a little bit of a struggle for Stephen.
You know, and that makes me wonder if Steven might have had an instant have some damage, because even some of the drivers we saw earlier push it really hard have only really fallen a spot or two. So going from 5th down to 14th really makes me wonder if that car is having some kind of a handling issue, maybe a little bit of damage. But we'll have to keep an eye on that as the night goes along. And you see all these drivers here about mid-pack back, all kind of in single file until it comes to the turns. All of these drivers trying to make the pass, and there we see, I think that's the 23 DeRose trying to make the pass on Chad Bean. So we will see how that turns out. But just like that, those positions are swapping back and forth back here in the pack.
That they really are. Positions all going around here is, man, really interesting racing going on right now. These guys are looking to hold on to what they can here to get to that lap 50 stage. But, you know, the driver that I'm starting to see struggle just a tiny bit of our Final Four contenders is that 21 machine, Adam Buzzio. He drove out from 10th all the way up to the 4th position, was trying to take 3rd. But that 21 is starting to struggle a little bit now. But with the drivers in front of him missing a little bit of the corner there, that kind of opened up the door again for him to go back forward. But now I think the 51 of Gregory Shaw, he's going to get to the outside there. And also Blaine Wilson, the teammate of the 21, he's possibly going to look to go around the outside. And you can't look too far behind. Dallas Manis and Jamie Ford right here behind this group. It's all stacked up really from that 3rd position on back as our top 2 have pulled almost 4 seconds on this group.
Well, Zach, you hit on it earlier just now. Adam Buzzio started 10th up to 5th. He really had to drive his way up to the front of the pack, and here 35 laps into a run, I'd imagine he has a little bit more wear and tire degradation than the drivers around him because he's had to drive so hard to make those passes to get that advancement. So I think Adam Buzzio is just dealing with the consequences of driving that hard and looking now. He has a teammate, the 18, trying to go below him. We saw some teammates racing for the lead. That was the 3 and the 7 earlier. Zach, how hard can that be trying to race your teammate, even though one of you may be in the playoffs and racing for a championship and the other one's just racing for a win?
It is a tough kind of line to walk. You know, you don't want to mess up your teammate. You want to kind of, you know, help everything they do, but at some points, you know, if your teammate is struggling, you got to go around them. You can't just hold back and, you know, wait behind them because, you know, just you passing them is not going to have an effect on their championship position. You know, I mean, it'd be one thing if you were taking the lead from them and, you know, giving them some dirty air, but, you know, back here, you're already getting dirty air from the drivers up ahead. So if he was to go around Buzzio, it really wouldn't set him back too much because really the top 2 are so far ahead, but we got a caution on the racetrack I'm unsure exactly what for. I think Jimmy Kubinek in the 77, he just came out of pit road, and unfortunately for him, he lost it right in front of this mid pack of the field.
And Zach, this is going to be very interesting how the pit stop cycle. But before we get to that, the freaky fast instant replay, we see the 77 on the apron. So he's already just trying to get himself around the track, stay out of the way. But Zach, that apron is so flat and there is no grip down there. It is very difficult to hold it down there. But you got to keep in mind, if you're already down there, you got to keep the speeds down. You got to make sure you maintain that grip. So what we see doesn't happen.
Yeah, this is unfortunate for Kubinek there. Man, that was could have been a lot worse. You know, luckily a lot of drivers just missed out on that, but let's see how the pit strategy works out. 5 sets of tires here tonight for this 175 laps, and I think that was exactly how I thought it was going to play out. Stage points are not going to matter to these drivers in that top 4. They need to worry about the last lap, which is lap 175. Winning a stage here is not going to do anything to help you for winning that championship, as points don't matter. It's all about your finishing position from here on out.
All of these drivers are looking for, Zach, is track position, and they will lose it if they go down pit lane. They chose the smart thing, kept it out there. We're going to run this thing all the way to this stage because they know that extra caution's coming for fuel, for tires. They know it's coming, but they don't want to lose it now because of that caution. Because if you get caught, you know, further on back in the pack in another 10 laps, you never know what can happen. You saw there the 77 spin on the back stretch, and only a couple cars missed him just by a hair, so you don't want that to happen and maybe end up the other way where you get damaged.
Yeah, it's you don't want to put yourself back in that position. You also want to save a set of tires. You know, you got 5 here tonight. There's already 1 set on the car, so you're looking at 4 sets in pit road. If you take a set at the end of the stage, you're going to be left with 3. You take another set at the end of stage number 2, you're going to be looking at 2 sets of tires there. And really from that point on, it's a 75 lap run to the end of the race. You're only going to need to pit 1 time, but if you were to pit now and you waste a set of tires, you would have 1 set for that last stage, and that would really be the bare minimum for you. So I think a lot of drivers here electing, you know, hey, we need to save these sets of tires. If we get cautions late in this race, I need to have a set here to go battle for a championship.
Oh, definitely, Zach. We've seen, especially here, 39 laps into a run, car got loose, unable to hold on to it, end up causing the caution. You never know what could cause that caution. Even the leaders battling, getting it loose out of turn 4. We've seen turn 4 be a huge issue, especially during practice. We've mentioned it before, but you never know what can happen. And you want to be able to save a fresh set towards the end, but Zach, there's a lot of racing to go between now and then. If you save a set and there's still, you know, 15 cars on the lead lap, that really puts you kind of on the bubble of what to do. You know, you never know how that strategy is going to turn out for you.
Yeah, it is tough when you get put farther back, but the big thing I look at there is, you know, these guys are going about 2 seconds faster than, you know, if on brand new tires than these tires. You go 2 seconds a lap faster here, you put yourself back at 15th, you're going to be in the lead in probably 5 laps or so, because the lanes will be open to move around here. The outside does work, so you got the options. So new tires will be a big factor here if we come down to the end of this race. But man, I tell you, you never know how it works out. The money stop could be the green flag stop if we get a long run to finish out that last stage. So you never know when that money stop will be, but it could be happening during the green flag sequence. So this is also going to be interesting as we get ready to go back to green here, is everybody's going to get double filed up, and we'll see how the older tires here launch on this restart. We saw some wheel spin to start the run. Let's see how bad the wheel spin is here. If drivers aren't expecting that, we could have major calamity here on the front straightaway.
And this is where the experience, the practice comes into play. I know the league puts on a lot of practices over the week, and some drivers get in, some drivers don't. But I know a lot of drivers try to practice that hot lap, trying to practice that fast lap. How hard is it, Zach, to practice a long run, to practice even a restart on old tires during a practice session?
Yeah, personally, it doesn't really happen unless you're in a session by yourself, you know, because, you know, most of the time when we see mock restarts, guys are on brand new tires in the practice session. Nobody's really out there on 40 lap used old tires here on a restart zone. And I can tell you, we will see wheel spin. It's just going to be who can manage that wheel spin the best here. Is if some of these drivers aren't thinking that in their mind and they just go to put that gas down as hard as they possibly can, we're going to have a big issue here on this restart. So I hope the drivers are testing it down the back straightaway. That's one thing you can do as a driver is right here, while you're on this back straightaway, see how the tires react. You know, give it a little bit of gas here, see how it's going to launch and get that initial feel. But sometimes you get that late wheel spin where it just happens in the late part of the RPM range. It really doesn't happen at the beginning of the RPMs. As you get farther and farther up, it really starts to late wheel spin happen. So we'll see if that's the case, but buckle your shoes because it is going to be very, very interesting to see how this works.
Definitely hold on tight because we are about to go green here. We have a 9-lap shootout here till the end of this stage. All of these drivers on older tires. We are going to see how it fans out. But the 17 had a wheel spin on the initial start of the race, but looks like he held it back. It was able to launch and get a great lead on the rest of the field. Right now, the outside line did not get started. The 7 of Alex Coffey really struggling to get that Toyota up front again.
That he is, and he just could not get the launch he needed out of the box, and he probably had to really feather that throttle, and that's why you didn't see that launch that well. And I had seen in the mid pack of the field, we had a few guys scattering as it grouped up with guys having a little bit of wheel spin, but everybody doing a good job making it through here so far. As we're going to be coming by here, it's going to be 8 laps to go in stage number 1, and this is not what Adam Buzzio needs. He did such a good job to start the stage, gaining track position, really working his way back up. Now getting past for the 6th position, going to slide back to 7th, and Plord right here might be able to take 8th from him. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Adam Buzzio really struggling on the restarts tonight. He's trying to take that position away from Christopher Norris. You see there on 38 on your screen, the 83 on the lineup. But right there, you see once again that outside line prevailed. That momentum is what's really helping these drivers make the passes and Holt really defend as well as the 3 of TJ Roberts goes up the track a little bit. And all these drivers vying for clean air in track position.
Yeah, they really are right now. The top 3 are our final 3 of our final 4 contenders, but Mason Halsman defending there. Gregory Shaw down in the 3 and 4, trying to not lose any more track position compared to this group behind him. But now that 83 machine trying to make work on the 3 of TJ Roberts and get to the top 5. And what a drive that would be for him as he's starting in the 23rd position.
The 83 doing really well, working his way through the field, washes up the track there a little bit, but takes the position away from TJ Roberts as the 56 of Richard Wolsifer is coming up through the field like a rocket. He's one of the cars that hit that last yellow cycle, Zach, and we see it. We see right there the 56 just have so much speed compared to the rest of the other drivers in the field.
Yeah, brand new tires there, just showing the difference right here that they can really make up. And Richard's going to be looking to make a big move. But oh no, Christopher Norris to the middle, 3 wide there. It's going to be 3 wide off the exit of 2 here. This is going to get a little bit mixy. They back out of it though. The 38 does, and luckily, the 83 does, luckily for his sake, because that could have got very, very bad there as they came off the corner. Now Chad beating the 9. He's on the brand new tires. He's trying to make his way through, but gets into the traffic jam there as the 51 is trying to make the pass on the 78.
Oh, and there's a little bit of contact. The 56 trying to regain it on turn 4. He looks like he keeps it clean and green, but look at that. All the positions he loses right there. But Zach, we see it. These new tires are definitely really hand upon hand better than the older tires on the track in front of them, and they're trying to gain the position. But there's the 78 right in front of the 9, right next to the 9, trying to hold his position. A championship driver in Chad Bean trying to shoot through the field, as well as the 11 of Perez D'Amico.
Yeah, this is just definitely shaking things up here a little bit. It's getting a little bit wild here to end stage 1. This is only stage 1, boys. Be a little bit careful out there, but yeah, Halsman is probably not liking what he's seeing, losing all this track position now, actually having some connection issues. But here comes the 11 and the 56. The brand new tires are just too much to weather.
And whether they can is because you see right there, even the 18 noted for his tire saving. There's the 77 of Kubanek. The 18, though, on the bumper of the 78. And the 78 took the lead early on in the run, led about 10 laps early on, but has since fallen back. And well, right now we see how sensitive these tires and these cars are to burning up the stuff too quick, to running too fast early on. And low, man, up towards the front, we have a battle for 3rd position with new tires versus old, and unreal, almost 3 wide going through turns 1 and 2, Zach. I can't believe some of these non-playoff drivers taking these risks against the Championship 4.
Yeah, I guess it's their last race here of the season. They just want to have a little bit of shine here at the end, but got to be careful, no doubt, indeed, here. And they also got Kubinek on the 77s on new tires. But here comes Chad Bean on the last lap on the stage. He's around the outside. He wants a stage win here as he goes around Gavin Rogers. As you can see, Alex Coffey, he's trying to fight off the tires back there, but just not going to be enough racetrack left there for him to hold him off. But right now, Chad Bean coming out of 4, going to look for the stage win.
What a wild kind of circumstance here. All these new tires overtaking old tires, and Chad Bean looks like is going to finish this stage in the lead. The 9 machine using strategy and newer tires to vault himself to the front of this field and lead tonight in the championship race of Charlotte Tech. So already really just a massive change in strategies.
Yeah, what a crazy race this has been so far with that little run there on these newer tires. But the stage results are going to be Chad Bean bringing home that win. Second's going to go to Gavin Rogers. Third is going to be Richard Wolfser. Fourth is going to be Giovanni Perez Diamcos. Fifth is going to be Alex Coffey. Sixth is Gregory Shaw. Seventh is Christopher Norris. Eighth is going to be Mason Halsman. Ninth, Lane Wilson. And rounding out the top 10 here is Jamie Floor. But what a crazy stage that was. We're going to step aside by side action here to keep you on our commercials here as we get ready to come back for more championship action at the Wicked Racing League.
And we are back, race fans, for this championship race for the Wicked Racing League. Already, this is the end of stage 1. We're beginning stage 2, Zach, and already have seen a very differing strategies when it comes down to tires and fuel. Right now, Chad Bean is in the lead of the field just because he pit on the caution that came on lap 39, and he had newer tires. But now, come the stage caution, a bunch of drivers behind him have cycled through and have these new tires. In fact, the only drivers with tires as old as him is Richard Wolsifer and Giovanni Perez D'Amico behind him. How will he handle this restart? We were about to find out, and we saw how different the tires had in speed between 40 laps and 0 laps. We're going to see what the difference between 10 laps and fresh tires as we go green for Charlotte Motor Speedway. And there it is, Chad Bean launching out of that first position heading into turn 1.
Yeah, and Giovanni Perez D'Amico really spun the tires in 11. That opened up the door for the 17 of Gavin Rogers already on the brand new tires to drive his way through up to the second spot. Alex Coffey and now Christopher Norris both passing the 56, the 11, and the 24. All these drivers on the older set of tires really having a tough time firing off.
And I saw the 56 tap the wall through turn 1 and 2 as well, to keep an eye on that. But there's some contact between the 24 of Johnny Shade and 78 Mason Houseman. They have some contact between the 3 and 4 turns. And looking at this cluster of cars, we see how bunched up they are. The 78 trying to make his way back up through this field. He's fast on the newer tires, but will he burn his stuff up early like we saw last time? Or will he have learned a little bit of conservation can help him in the long run? We're about to find out, but Gavin Rogers already having to fight off the 7 of Alex Coffey.
Yeah, already starting to heat up for that lead position as they both passed now the 9 of Chad Bean, but this group behind here is really still mixing it up. Jamie Poor, Johnny Shade all racing. You got Martin Morales coming in the picture. Also the 21 of Adam Buzzio is trying to make something happen. But up front, Alex Coffey using that outside line and once again storming to the lead in that 7 machine as he's going to look to hold on for now. But we've seen this. We've seen something similar to this play out in the first run. We'll see, can Rogers do the similar act where he really had the long run pace, or will Coffey find a little something here in this second stage and be able to manage those tires a little better? As also, we got to think, this track now fully under the lights, no more sunlight out there. This track is really going to start to change a lot.
Well, Zach, the track temperature stayed roughly steady, about 75 degrees here tonight, and so I would say it's definitely going to go through a change as the lights continue to stay on, as the track stays down. It's going to cool off, maybe find a little more grip, but that will also detract from the tires. Those tires will begin to wear a little bit faster as the speeds pick up. But as we see here, Alex Coffey already with about a quarter of a second lead over Gavin Rogers. Gavin Rogers not falling back as far as he did during the initial start of the race, but everyone else behind him almost side by side through turn 1 and 2. They see the rest of the field in your screen. In fact, 2 more of the playoff drivers fighting. That is Gavin Rogers and the 78, I think, of Mason Houseman. Mason Houseman charging to the front.
Yeah, once again, Mason Houseman doing what he did in that first run, charged to the lead here early in this run, looking to get to the clean air. It really did not work out well for him last run, as now you got Gregory Shaw in the 51. He's going up the middle, trying to make the pass there for even first, too. From 4th to 1st, almost in one corner, as it was Coffey who would play up the racetrack, allow Rogers to get to the inside. Blaine Wilson here as we ride on board with the 30 or 83 of Christopher Norris. She also got the 91 of Martin Morales. He's coming in the picture, too. This is all getting a little bit more mixy.
We're getting spicy here at the front. Some cars we haven't called their names up all night long. Here they are battling for a top 5 position. And we see the cluster, the calamity through the corner. All these drivers looking for clean air, looking for track position. And just now, Gregory Shaw making the pass on Mason Houseman for the lead. So for the first time tonight, we have a non-championship driver leading the race.
Yeah, I think this is just an interesting sight to see here with all these drivers really mixing it up right now. I think what's going on here personally with all these drivers driving up into position, more likely than anything, is we're seeing a lot of management from our Final Four contenders. They know they need to have that long run speed to gain that track position back. The rest of this group, they are going full bore, no lift pretty much, and trying to gain as much track position as possible to help them for later in the race. So it'll be interesting to see which one really is the strategy that works. But man, these guys have definitely kicked it up a notch here, trying to go up and get some track position for the non-playoff guys.
One driver that really needs to kick it up another notch is the 21, Adam Buzzio. He is mired down in 9th position and actually has a little bit of a gap to the car in front of him, that of the 83 of Christopher Norris. So Adam Buzzio really struggling. In fact, he's just barely hanging on in front of a car on the old tires, that of Chad Bean. So Adam Buzzio really struggling tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So if he's going to make a run at this championship, he needs to find some grip, needs to find a way to conserve those tires and find speed to get back up to the front.
And, you know, personally, like, just thinking about it just for a little bit there, he really gained a lot of time in the beginning of the last run. He really started off trying to go up there, get the track position from that 10th starting spot. I think Adam figured out that that's not going to be the way to go. He needs to let this race come to him. I think you're going to see a little bit more management maybe from this 21 this run to try to run down these drivers up ahead of him as the run goes on. You can't go up there and really abuse your tires because you'll be paying for it as he did late in that last run. So we'll see. Maybe he's picked up from that, and that's the thing. You know, you got these stage breaks to learn how to drive your car, what is going to work and what will not work. So, man, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see who can learn from stage 1 to really apply that to stage 2 here.
Someone who's learning is actually making a pass for the lead. Jamie Plord in the 38. He made a pass on Gregory Shaw. In fact, he's made his way around 3 playoff drivers just to get to the lead here. So at the front, still mixing it up. It's sitting here riding along the car, the 42 of Sam Dyer. Sam has been kind of, he didn't have a great qualifying lap, sitting in the back, not really mixing it up, but actually having a clean race. And see, he's definitely smooth on the wheel as we ride along in car with him. And he is doing at least his best to stay out of the way and keep just getting some experience here for the Wicked Racing League.
Yeah, this is definitely a great place to, to learn experience from. Sam definitely newer to the sim racing here, and really a great broadcaster in his own. So he knows a lot and has a lot of info in his brain, but now he's just trying to apply that. So he's done a great job to learn so far, and he's doing it with a great group here on Wednesday nights here at the Wicked Racing League. And yeah, Plord here, as you see, he's out front now. I took the lead. But also, Hausman, he's under a little bit of threat. The 91 of Martin Morales behind him, and he's trying to make something happen. But Hausman now trying to get to the outside of Gregory Shaw. A little bit of a stack up here with these non-playoff drivers as Coffey and Rogers have kind of fell back off of this group here, trying to manage their stuff and get to that lap 100 stage.
But looking at that, the 78 trying to open up that gap between himself and the 91 and past the 51 at the same time. There might have been a little bit of contact between the 78 and the 51, but so far, nothing serious. As you see the 91 go low through turn 3, tried to gain that hookup, and the 91 had to get out of the throttle there to maintain that grip. And here, Alex Coffey in the 17s, like you mentioned, it looked like they've fallen back, and in fact, fighting side by side for 5th position. Not exactly what we would have expected, but we saw it last run. So far, we are only on lap 20 of this run, and right about this time is when some of the drivers who conserve tend to search their way forward. So we have yet to see those guys search forward, but a lot of racing left to go as we have yet to even cross the halfway mark.
Yeah, this is an interesting sight to see here. With drivers all doing different style things, and I'm still interested to see Alex Coffey. He's still committed to that outer groove. That is going to be an interesting thing because it seems like he's trying to manage a little bit more, go a little bit slower this run, running that top side. But will that pay off? Is that still going to save enough tire to have the run here for later in the run to try to get past that 78, who now is up front trying to take the lead from Jamie Plord? And I think the 78 Hossman, he will take the lead. So great job on the 78, now trying to put at least 3 non-playoff contenders in between him and the rest of his competition.
And Mason Hausman is loving what he just did. Like you said, Zach, 3 non-playoff contenders between him and the next other championship contender. And sitting along and riding along with the 38 of Jamie Ford, we see the 78 just kind of run away. He already opened up a quarter of a second gap between himself and Jamie Ford, and right now going through turn 3. Well, he can't relax. The 51 Gregory Shaw has been surging here as of late these last few races at least, and looking to have another good run here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Another playoff driver looking to etch his name into the record books for Wicked Racing League.
Ooh, almost edged his name into the back bumper of the 38. Luckily, he just missed that there and got to the outside. Now back to the inside here at the run off of 2. He's going to try to make that happen on floor. But, you know, it's been an interesting case so far this season, in my opinion, for Mason Halsman, especially our leader here. He's really had an interesting season, to say nonetheless. Has had that one win at the Watkins Glen International Road Course, and, you know, great win there for him. But only 3 top 5s. That was kind of the head scratcher. When I came here tonight, you know, taking down these guys' stats, 3 top 5s, only 6 top 10s this season. So not had really the greatest runs, has got his way into the Final Four and has performed very well in the playoffs. So he's really shown up at the right time. And of the 4, he's had the worst average finish. So right now to be leading the way, if he was to win the championship, he would definitely be the underdog winning it, in my opinion.
Well, you mentioned it, Zach. He's not necessarily one you would have picked, but after that win at the Glen, he seems to have been able to surge his way forward. He had a really rough first half of the season, but making his way forward, such as the 18 of Blaine Wilson, one of those drivers we mentioned is really good for saving for the long run, is actually trying to make himself known, moving his car forward, trying to make the pass here on Martin Morales in the 91. And look at that, going through turn 3, turn 4. Looks like he's going to have the position. He's looking to also set his sights on Jamie Porter in the 38. He seems to be struggling.
Yeah, definitely setting his sights here on that 38, who really took off and took to the lead. And it's showing right now as that 38 is starting to show a little bit of struggles as now the 7 goes around. His outside Wilson thought about going to the inside there to make the move. Just not enough room there on the inside for him to make it stick, and he'll have to back out of that situation. But some great racing going on right now. Our top 9 positions all just separated by about 1.3 seconds. It is pretty much throw a blanket over the field, and we got that top 9.
And out of the top 4, 3 of them are our championship drivers once again. Mason Hausman, the 17, and Gavin Rogers in the 2nd. Christopher Shaw, Gregory Shaw in the 51. 3rd position, Alex Coffey going that outside line, trying to make the pass on the 51, in fact, to make it 3 out of 3 of the top 3. And look at that going into turn 3. But Blaine Wilson doing really well himself, working the 38 over, trying to get that pass, and just like that, it took him a couple laps, Zach, and that's just what may need to happen for the lead. It may take you a couple, maybe even 5 laps to make that pass around this track.
Yeah, you really got to work somebody over to get it done, and with that checkup there ahead of Blaine Wilson, he's now got to the inside of the 51 of Gregory Shaw, who he's trying to make the pass work. Going to put a little side draft, but the 51 too big of run coming out of 2 to be able to defend this position here for himself. So great run there for Gregory Shaw, but right now, like you said, the top 3, all of our Final Four contenders. There's the next one coming into the picture. That's Adam Buzzio, now up to 7th as he was able to get past Martin Morales. He's now going to set his sights on Plord, Wilson, and Shaw. That would put him back in the top 4 with his Final Four contenders, where he most likely would love to be in position, because he needs to be right there behind him if he wants to have a shot coming down to the end. But what a race we've had so far in Stage 2.
In Stage 2, we're already on lap 29, coming on 30. We are already on the second half of this second stage. Lap 100, we'll have another caution for the Stage 2 conclusion. And we'll have a 75-lap run to the end of the race. You mentioned this, Zach, we may have a Monday stop, a green flag stop. And right now, besides one spin down the back straightaway, we have been caution-free besides the stage. So already looking to be able to and really put the pressure on pit road, how quickly we can get on and get off.
Yeah, and big moves being made up front. Mason Halsman has got his 17 machine here in the 7 right behind him, and it's side by side for the lead. But oh no, the 78 once again having a little bit of connection issues. Hope that does not plague him by the end of the night here. But here comes the 17 with the big run on the bottom. The 78 is going to try to roll the top to get back to the quarter pound. The 17 is clear for the moment. He needs to pull up and not give that run to the 78, but the 78 going to get back to the quarter pound here right before the entry. The 17 should be far enough out in front here to be able to clear, hopefully, the 78 here on exit, but you cannot leave that door open. You got to close the door when you clear.
And there he did it. He closes the door, coming down the first straightaway, exiting turn 4, and just like that, the 17 with a pass for the lead of the 78. And just like that, Gavin Rogers leading this race once again. But we have about 17, 18, 19 laps until the caution for the stage. And once again, we see where the 17 was able to save. He can work his way to the front. The 20, Nigel Christensen, Started 8th and is actually sitting in 13th at the moment. Really struggling tonight with the handle on that car, losing about 5 spots overall since the start of the race. Nigel, one of those 2018 teammates we're so used to seeing work their way up the field later on in the run, just doesn't seem to have that speed we're used to seeing tonight.
Yeah, it definitely it's not worked out the best for Christensen here tonight. You know, like you said, started 8th and really has kind of been back here admired really from 10th anywhere to 15th for the majority of the night. And he was the winner of Chicagoland. I mean, won on his birthday, had a great story there, and that mile and a half racetrack really raced well for him. So kind of surprised to see him back here, but look at the big runs he's had here. So he's going to look to the inside of the 45 machine, try to make that move stick as he tries to go up another spot up to 12. He's got Tyler Dingler and Martin Morales directly ahead also.
And looking at those cars in front of him, and the Dallas Menace fights back on the outside, and just we've been noticing it all night. The 20 tries to get himself centered once again. That outside line has that momentum. If you can hold that outside line, no one pulls up in front of you, you can kind of drag race your opponent on the inside down the front straightaway and win coming to the next corner. And just look at that. You see the 45 Dallas Menace went from getting past to trying to doing the passing here against Martin Morales. Oh, there's a little bit of contact sending the 91 up the track, possibly into the wall. Don't see any sparks, but we see a little bit of contact here in the mid-pack.
Yeah, that was a little bit spicy indeed. The 45, I don't think, was trying to do none of that contact as he backed out of it quickly, trying to make that stuff happen. But here comes Chad Bean in the 9. Whew. He's trying to make a run up here as I believe he's hit pit road as he is 2 laps down. So I think he's trying to make something happen. But ooh, Dallas Menace going through the turf there on the front straightaway, and that was a close moment for him also. So tough ordeal, but right now trying to get back in groove as he's trying to run down this 91.
Dallas Menace doing a very good job of keeping the car straight, keeping all the racing clean. He was able to actually even enter turn 1 really well and maintain his pace with the 91. So Dallas Menace saving the day for himself down the front straightaway. There's a wreck! The 18 and the 78 down the front straightaway. That is a championship contender we see going to rest at the front stretch, Zach. This is going to change everything.
Oh, that was a huge moment, no doubt indeed. And Blaine Wilson in the 78, I believe, making contact there, and just an unfortunate circumstance there as they come off of 4. And, you know, just really it was an interesting moment here as I think we're going to see with this instant replay. Coming off of 4, the 78 catches the apron. That's going to shoot him up the racetrack just a teeny bit. He also gets a little free here. Look at the tail slide out. The 18's there, though. I can't really fault anything on the 18 there. That's just a racing incident, in my opinion, where 2 drivers going for the same real estate, and the 78 had a moment there that spins him around, and just like that, he's in the outside retaining wall here on the front straightaway. But luckily for him, no required damage flags here. Rolls backwards, and luckily for him, just misses Christopher Norris. That was very close. That could have been race ending there if he would have had that hit. And luckily for his sake, he slides across the front straightaway. The only thing here that's going to be bad is he's used a set of tires now. Will he come to pit road and try to replace those tires is going to be the big question.
Well, replace tires, get some damage repaired. Yeah, he probably doesn't need to use that fast repair we keep talking about, but he will definitely need a little bit of TLC to that car as we're riding around under caution here on lap 88. Again, Zach, right around that lap 38, 39, these cars get a little bit difficult to handle. They get a little inconsistent and already shooting as we see the 78 change tires on that machine. So we will see the 78 come out on fresh tires. We will see how he does. But once again, we're going to have another 9-10 lap shootout to the end of the stage.
Yeah, and I tell you, I've just had a big head-scratching moment, in my opinion, is the 7 machine, Alex Coffey. He comes down the pit road and gets tires. I'm going to be real. I do not like this call. I mean, why waste a set here for, you know, probably 10 laps at the most? You're not going for stage points. You're not racing for stage points. You were already in second, had great track position. You know, going to be an interesting decision here, having to drive through the field. Also, that puts you in a little bit of danger, but we'll see how that plays out. And then it only leaves him with 1 set of tires also. So, interesting call there for that machine.
Well, we'll have one green. Well, we'll have one stop before the end of the race. I mean, these drivers cannot make it on tires or fuel between here and the end of the race. So we will have to see one more stop. Maybe Alex Coffeyzak is thinking he won't need that extra set. We have run green till about 10, 12 laps until this stage. So right around lap 38, 39 is when these cars get really difficult to handle. It'll be interesting to see as we go green and through the third stage who pits and when. That will be the whole question to see if Alex Coffey's strategy plays out.
That it really will be here. So we'll have to see how this works out here. It's going to be a little bit of the similar scene we saw before. I mean, I believe the 56 also took tires. I believe also we had the 19 go in and take tires. We had the 78, of course, come in, get his damage and tires put back on. And gotta say, the 78 looks pretty pristine for being involved in that latest incident. So, whew, this is about to be a mad dash here once again to end this stage. And right now, I think championship contenders just knowing they just need to get through this stage to that final 75 lap run, and then it'll be home free.
Home free, gotta survive the craziness of these restarts, side by side racing. Always gotta be aware of the cars around you and who you want to race. And now with these championship drivers, you gotta be aware of who's also racing for what. Are you just racing for a championship? Are you racing for a race win? We will all see that come to fruition as we continue to tick away the laps. And in fact, 18 of Blaine Wilson will get an EOL penalty for causing that incident. So that is also going to shake up the rest of the field.
That really will too. Yeah, that's an interesting call. There is definitely a very, very close incident in my opinion, but that is how they decide to run things. And oh no, what is going on here on the front straightaway? Looks like Dallas Manis and Steve T. Cole possibly involved in this. Manis gets into that 96 machine. I think what was happening is you had the 9 of Chad Bean checking up, the 45 cuts across to go to his inside. There's Steve T. Cole right there, and just like that, a major moment for both those drivers is Cole still trying to get that car going. We may have a delayed green here with that, or yellow with that, but we'll have to see. Is still the lights on the pace car out. So I believe we should be going green this time, as we're going to be looking to get to lap 100 for our second stage.
And lap 100 right now is the goal to get to that next scheduled yellow. We are going to go green with 10 laps to go here for the Wicked Racing League Championship race, and seeing all these drivers push so hard for this race win. In fact, Adam Buzzio sitting there in that 4th position, second car outside a row. We're going to see how this works out for all our drivers as the pace car makes the hard left turn onto pit road, and the drivers are in the hands of the 17th Gavin Rogers. We know he's great at his restarts, and he gets a great launch again from that inside line. Everyone else trying to play catch up as they fall in line behind them.
Yeah, they are. Everybody trying to play catch up, like you said there, Carl. And Rogers able to shoot out to that early lead, but we'll have to watch for the new tires. They're going to be coming fast and very quick. But oh no, major moments back there. The 56s around it all went pear-shaped there, down into 1 and 2, and somehow we've seen 4 wide contact almost. But man, it ended up the 56 being at the end of the brunt end of that.
And you don't, that's what makes these restarts so tricky. You get a little wheel spin, you have a moment, you just got to catch it. And then we see the 56 Sparks flying in front of him. So I don't know if he was trying to avoid something going on in front or just trying to maintain his position. But it looks like he's just got caught up. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the issues. There's Mason Houseman getting into it, and he looks like he just might have got spun into as well by Nigel Christensen, I think that is. So that was just him trying to maintain his position, or just maintain a clean car, and unfortunately the 20 behind him couldn't get checked up enough.
Yeah, and major pandemonium there as the 78 of Haussmann, he has a required damage flag from that incident, and that just shows you get yourself back in the mix like that and easily can be involved in something just that quick. And I also believe even Coffey caught a little bit of the damage too on his right side. So tough break, but man, this is gonna bring a very bad call, or bad thing for these drivers. Hopefully for Haussmann's sake, he didn't use his fast repair, because we do have one fast repair here And we can confirm actually now he has used it on that latest incident. So that is night over, championship over, in my opinion, for the 78 machine. Tough break, but man, it just shows you in racing, anything can happen when you're back in the mix.
And Mason Houseman worked so hard to get to this position, having a really great late season surge in the points, being able to claw his way into this championship four. And you mentioned it, Zach, you put yourself in a bad situation. You never know what can happen. And we saw it happen there. You never know when you can get caught up and, just lose patience with the guys around you. You're racing so hard. Everyone around you has a different strategy, different view of this race, and it just makes championship racing that much more difficult.
That it really does, man. It's a tough break, but I tell you what, we still got plenty of time here for something else to go wrong for someone else. I mean, I say Hausman's night is over for this, but the required damage flag is disappeared already, so he should have got all the required damage already fixed, and it doesn't look too bad. My thing for him now is he's just gonna have to go out there, complete as many laps as possible. You never know, Rogers, Buzzio, or even Coffee, they're involved in an incident and their night ends or they get major damage, it could be, them in a bad spot. So, you never know with these things, but you definitely want to have a fast repair in your back pocket, and that's what the 78's already burned. So he was not able to get that car completely fixed up for this latest, incident. So interesting thing to see now too is through all of this, Adam Buzzio, he's gained a ton of track position up to the 3rd spot.
And up to the 3rd spot, 82 laps to go. We still have the stage 2 conclusion coming up. In fact, we're still yellow yet to go 1 to green. So we're going to go green with about 4 or 5 laps. Another really short sprint here to the finish and another caution, Zach. We've seen lately the anticipation, the intensity of these cautions and these restarts increase and grow these past few races. And we're seeing again here, people are trying to take more and give less. These drivers really vying and battling for every position, whether you're in the playoffs or not.
That they really are, Carl, and it's going to be a wild ending here. Still, I believe, as we got plenty of time left here, but still need to get to that lap 100 stage. We do have another restart here coming up, and a few of those drivers that were involved in that latest incident were on the new tires. And Borbell, he luckily got through it though for the 19, as him and Coffee both were able to get through somewhat scot-free. Coffee did catch a little bit of right side damage, but again, this next gen car is so resilient. It seems like it takes hits very well. You have to pretty much have a major contact for you to see some types of fender damage. So really a good thing for this next gen car. It allows the opportunity for drivers just to get by incidents, maybe even catch a little bit of a scrape and still be in a good position for the rest of the race. But man, with the pace car lights, I believe, going out this time, we're getting double fouled back up. Gavin Rogers going to lead the way here. You're going to have Gregory Shaw on that top side. Adam Buzzio in the 21 and 3rd. 4th is going to be Jamie Plord, and running out that top 5 here to come back to our restart is Christopher Norris. But man, now the new tires are going to have very limited time. How much will they push these tires?
And that's the question we've been asking ourselves all night, Zach. How hard do you push the tires? Doesn't matter how hard and how many laps are on those tires. It all depends on how you want to race the track, race the drivers around you, and how hard you want to race those tires. We've been talking about it all night long, and we will see how this strategy works out for Stephen Borbell, Alex Coffey, Dallas Manis. We will see how all this works as they are on the fresher tires of the field, and as they go down the back straightaway, preparing for this restart. Once again, Gregory Shaw, a non-playoff driver, mixing it up here at front. We saw Calamity further on back with Mason Houseman getting collected in a wreck, and he is there further on back with that yellow banner in the red car. But right now, these drivers going through turn 3 into turn 4. We will shortly see the pace car make the hard left turn onto pit lane and the green flag come out, and we will once again get underway for another 5 laps until the stage ends. And once again, the 17 in charge of the field going through the restart zone, and once again he waits until later in the restart zone to go, and that will allow him to maintain that position and go while going into turn 1.
Yeah, great start once again, really showing that prowess to get those good restarts to launch him out of that box. But here they come out of turn number 2. Shaw's going to have Buzzio behind. Plord Going to be side by side with Norris there in the 83. They're also going to have TJ Roberts trying to defend back there, but here comes the 7 machine up top. He's going to be trying to rip the top groove, but he's going to get stuck behind Plord. Also, Borbell right to his inside. It's getting a little bit spicy with that middle group here as they're going to be coming by. Completing lap 96. 4 to go here in the stage.
Alex Coffey is not saving an ounce of that tire. He is trying to get every little bit out of it as he tries to make the pass on the 21, Adam Buzzio, and they are side by side going down the front straight or the back straightaway, going into turn 3, and once again the 7 on the inside trying to make the pass, and just like that you see the difference in tire, see the difference in grip as the 7 goes around the corner, making a pass on second place, Gregory Shaw.
Yeah, and he'll be up to that leader, Gavin Rogers, in no time with 3 laps to go in the stage. He should be almost to the lead, almost to the back bumper by the time we exit out of 4, and if not, maybe even gone around that 7 by the time we get out the exit of 4, him in the 19, as those new tires storm their way through. Oh, there's a driver in the back of the pack there, actually having a major incident on the back straightaway, but we stay green for now as they come out of 4. When we come to 2 to go, here's Alex Coffey right on the back deck lid.
And as the battle for the lead is transpiring, that was the 24, Zach, of Johnny Shade, who got into the wall and is making his way to pit road. But just like that, Alex Coffey making the pass for the lead, and following him is the 19 of Stephen Borbell, leaving this 17 in the dust, in the tire tracks, as we still have a couple laps to go in this stage.
That we do. There's going to be coming to 2 to go this next time by here is going to be, oh, sorry, actually it's going to be 1 to go here in this stage is Coffey's going to come out of 4 here. He's got Borbell all the back bumper, but the thing is, this stage is not too critical. I mean, winning this stage does not really help anything. Really the biggest thing is going to be keeping those tires underneath you, but right now, the 19 trying to make the pass out of 2. He's trying to get a stage win here to end the season.
The 19 trying to get some of the best track position he's seen tonight as he started in 5th, battling hard with a championship driver of Alex Coffey, and the 19 really getting pitched down low, the 7 trying to make his way around the outside, and just like that the yellow comes out and looks like that'll be the 7 of Alex Coffey by a nose.
That it was Alex Coffey at the line, but I believe Borbell had the position due to where the caution was thrown with the timing loop. But that brings in to stage number 2. Alex Coffey is your stage winner. Stefan Borbell is in 2nd. 3rd is going to go to Gavin Rogers. 4th is going to be Gregory Shaw. 5th is going to go to Christopher Norris. 6th is going to be Adam Buzzio. 7th is TJ Roberts. 8th is Tyler Dingler. 9th is JB Ford. And rounding out our Freaky Fast stage, top 10 here is Dallas Manis. But here we go back to commercial break for our 2nd time here tonight, folks. We'll be right back here going side by side. You won't miss a thing.
They're splitting, and it's a complete mayhem. We have a wreck at the front. 19 goes down into the 7, takes out the 00. They're 5 wide behind for 5th. Oh my, the 5 wide here. This ain't gonna work, is it? They're already wrecking into turn 1, and now coming through out of turn 2. This is it, the Daytona. Oh no, the wrecking contact. Sets gets into the wall, gonna be scattering on the outside. Drivers on the apron, drivers coming out of nowhere. Edison on the outside, trying to get the win. And it's William Edison stealing it at the line. Into the wall, the 18 trying to block. 77 to get into the 18. That leaves 3 to TJ Roberts, 17 to Gavin Rogers. 3 of TJ Roberts is gonna steal the win here. He went second fiddle so many times last season. Christopher Wade wins the season 5 Daytona 200. 4, 3, 2, 1, green screen. No right grip whatsoever, up sideways. Sideways everywhere. Come on, man, do what you can. The vibration in this car is the worst vibration that I've ever had, and the shifter's broken again.
And we are back racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You saw the restart due to a mix of strategies, Zach. We've seen a bunch of can't say unknown, but definitely unfamiliar drivers here at the front. We see the 7 of Alex Coffey and the 17 of Gavin Rogers try to make their way back up to the front. But right now, those 2 spots are taken by Steven Borbell and Martin Morales. And look at that, the field's trying to string out behind them.
And they are really stringing out here and trying to find any little positioning gap they can. But interesting scenarios. Old Chad Bean almost up into the 21 there of Buzzio. That's not what Buzzio wants to see. He needs a clean run here to the end of this last portion of this race. Stage 3 is 75
Buzzio definitely
laps.
needs a clean run to get to the end of this race. And look at that, looks to make the pass on the 83 of Christopher Norris going on the outside of turn 4. But they are clustered all bumper to bumper here, going down the front straightaway. That is the 69 of Tyler Dangler trying to make a crossover move, going from the high side to the low side. So Tyler Dangler putting on the moves to Dallas Manis.
That was a big move from Tyler Dingler there, as Manis was really trying to hold that position there. But now Chad Bean, oh, that's close. There's the 45 to the inside of the 83, and definitely the racing picking up. But you know, for a few of these drivers out there, it's really in an interesting position right now. As the 7 of Coffee, only 1 set of tires left. That's what they're going to need here to get to the end of the race. But if we have a few cautions, that's where the 7's troubles may come in.
And that'll be the repeating cautions after that. He, like you mentioned, Zach, he has 1 extra set, so he has to be very cautious on when he decides to throw those new set of tires on the car. And right now, going along the track, looking along all the drivers, no one was really separated themselves from anyone else. Everyone's kind of bunched together, all within striking range of each other. In fact, the 91 looking to try and make a pass on the 19 at the moment for the lead, but the Borbell will right now hold the 91 off as the 17 and the 7 battle as the highest championship drivers on the field.
Yeah, here goes this 7 to the inside of the 17 of Gavin Rogers, and this is the battle for what would be the championship position. But here comes Adam Buzzio. He's only got Gregory Shaw right between the 2 in front of him, and it just shows you this is what it could come down to here at the end of lap 175. It could be side by side with 3 drivers all within about a half a second.
And we are seeing it right now as Alex Coffey edges out the 17. Gavin Rogers, ooh, that's a 21. Adam Buzzio tapping the outside wall in the corner exit of turn 2, but he looks to go to the inside of the 51. He's going to wash up just a little bit. And there's the Chad Bean right behind him. The 9, he is trying his darndest to get around and make moves, but the 21 still struggling, trying to get that clean air, trying to get that corner arc the way he wants it.
Yeah, really struggling to get that to work. It seems like the nose really pushed on that car, and getting into that outside wall is not going to help that condition. And looking at his damage-wise, not really bad. So, again, these cars very resilient, able to get into the wall and not show too much damage from it. So, Buzzio is going to hang on for now, but here comes Gregory Shaw looking to the outside of the 17 of Rogers, but Rogers holds on for now. And this will be, you know, a touch and go run here, because you know you're not going to be able to do 50 laps like we've seen earlier in the race. You're probably going to split this run most likely up into about 35 lap stints. So pushing hard here may not be the worst cases. Oh, almost the 17 up into the 51 on the exit there. That was close for our championship contenders.
That was very interesting. Looks like the 51 might have lost the car a little bit on the corner of exit 2, turn 2 there, sorry, and was able actually to keep it stuck without any kind of contact. And he looks to make another move on the 7 of Alex Coffey, and he's just racing for a race win. Martin Morales, Stephen Borbell battling side by side for the lead, but here we are for another battle for third position, the 51 and the 7. So already, the battle's already around the track, back and forth, side by side, and this is the battle for the lead, the 91 and the 19. The 91 finally able to make the pass for the lead, and there it is, lap 113 led by the 91, Martin Morales.
Great job by Martin there, getting a lap led here. I'm sure that's what he wanted in that book, and right now able to get to the lead, get the clean air from Stephen Borbell, and see how he can work out the rest of this race. You know, if you go aggressive here to start off this run and you do an early pit stop, it may not be the worst strategy. You put yourself in a tough situation if the caution was to come out. You get trapped the lap down possibly, but we'll see what type of, how aggressive the strategies get. But now Alex Coffey, Gavin Rogers, and Adam Buzzio all nose to tail, as Mason Hausman still lingering back and around the 15th position with that damaged car.
And Mason Hausman now with a heartbreaker definitely needs something to come and go his way to make sure he can get back into the mix here. But right now, you mentioned it, Zach, the 7, 17, and the 21 all on top of each other trying to fight for the championship trophy. But there's the 45, Dallas Manis on the inside. Chad Bean on an alternate tire strategy last stage was able to lead a couple of laps and right now kind of stabilize there in 10th position. So Chad Bean running a great race for himself, but Dallas Manis working his way back up to the front.
That he is. Dallas Manis really trying to charge his way forward here and get any little spots available for him. But man, you know, again, this gets interesting with how the strategy could play out, because right now we're looking at this race. You know, if it does go green, when will be the optimal point for these drivers to pit? That's always going to be, I think, the question to be had for these drivers. But if you're out there looking for a good product to help you let all the drivers out there know that you're going to be heading to pit road, you need to go check out one of the best button boxes out there. Because not only does it help you with those race control functions, such as, you know, pitting in or pitting out, but you can also admin a race by throwing yellow flags, giving black flags, clearing black flags. Any function that admin needs to do, it is on this button box, and it pretty much gives you race control right at your fingertips. So make sure you head on over to adminbox.com. Use the promo code right there on the screen, FFB/BOXX, to get a discount at purchase. And trust us, you will not be disappointed with one of the best button boxes on the market.
And we also love, all of us love that our sponsors come to help us out, bring this action to you. They have been with us all season long, allowing us to be able to display this talent for all of you race fans. And no, we see it there. The 23 getting to the fender of the 96, the quarter panel. The 96 going to spin out onto pit road. That is going to cause an issue for the 96. But right now, we maintain a green flag status, as it looks like the 96 is coming to a rest on the inside wall of pit road. But we look to stay green for now.
That we will. And right there parked on the inside wall is that 96 machine, and I guess he's just waiting as, oh, now he's actually going to have to tow, as that's going to pretty much probably bring him most likely into his night. But we jump back to the leader, Martin Morales. He's got some friends here as Borbell has gotten passed by the 51. Now Gregory Shaw, he's driven his way up into the picture. Also Alex Coffey, Gavin Rogers, Adam Buzzio, all of them ganging up on Stephen Borbell as they go 3 wide around him. It's showing those tires are starting to wear here as this run continues on.
Oh, those tires are definitely starting to show their degradation as we see all those cars on top of each other. In fact, the last lap, the fastest car around the track was Adam Buzzio, the 21 man himself. But Martin Morales under attack by the 51 and the 7 of Alex Coffey, our championship contender. All of these top 3 cars within a blanket. And there is the 17 in the not so far off distance there on the back straightaway. So all these drivers looking to gain positions as the 7 of Alex Coffey takes the high line and powers himself around the 51.
Yeah, powers around the 51, but powers right into the back of the 91 also. So big moment there for him, because that could have been a detrimental moment to his race. I don't think too much damage there, but definitely a huge scare there getting into the back of the 91. It's also checked things up now. Gavin Rogers, he's took advantage of a lot of this. Here comes Adam Buzzio, and right now the cream's rising to the top.
Indeed it is, Zach. All these championship drivers in the top 5 once again, and there it is. Adam Buzzio trying to take the inside lead. All those inside cars in the inside lane are championship drivers racing for this inaugural championship race. And it'll get a little squirrely there on the exit of turn 4. Some of these cars already struggling with the tire wear in only about 22 laps into this fuel run.
Yeah, it just shows you that the tires just fall away so quickly here if you don't protect them and you don't try to hold back just that little bit. You can go out there and really send it for the first couple laps, really first 15 laps of a run, and you can put down, I mean, 2 to 3 tenths sometimes a lap faster laps than you would probably want to. But just that management comes back in the average run of things to come back around as you really just overheat those tires and spike those tire temperatures. Buzzio now trying to make the pass on Martin Morales. He's going to get that done. Top 3 now, all Final 4 playoff contenders.
And then we see there the 3 of TJ Roberts making his way into the top 5 as well. TJ Roberts kind of mired in the middle of the pack this past stage. In the beginning of the race, we talked about him a lot, fell back, but looks like he was making his way back up to the front. He just needs to make his way around this 91 of Martin Morales. Oh, there was a huge check up there, a huge incident, and a lot of these drivers going to go around the 91 too, maybe even 3 positions, 4 positions with Jamie Ford going around the 91 as we ride along with the Star Wars car of Blaine Wilson.
And we do got a great view of this battle and going up ahead of him. Man, it slides up the racetrack now. Here comes the 38 of Ford looking to maybe make something happen for himself, but he's going to have enough grip here to try to do it. But as I say that, our lead hand is about to change, possibly Gavin Rogers once again as the run goes on. The 17 just seems to always find the pace, and now battling with the 7 machine here as we hop on board with Coffee. You're going to see the outside run here. He's going to cut down here, try to get the run off the corner, and he does a great job of holding the 17 back, and I think that's going to have to be the game plan. He's going to have to try his best here to hold back this 17. Now trying to close the door with the 17 there. Almost a little bit of contact. Racing super hard here. Coming to about 50 laps to go here in this race.
Gavin Rogers threading the needle going into turn 3, battling side by side for the lead down the front straightaway. They are still side by side as they go into one, and race fans, you see right there how much banking there is in these corners. But Zach, you know very well, the banking all there doesn't mean grip. These cars are very hard to handle going into the corners, can get very loose on corner exits. So as much grip as the banking helps, maybe it just isn't enough sometimes.
It is, and look at this. There it is. The pass finally done. Coffee goes way up the track, and that allows the 17 to get the run that he needed to clear this 7 machine. Now, can he set sail? Can he open up a gap here to give him a buffer room coming to pit road? That's what you want to do as a driver, is you want to open up the gap, give yourself a little bit of room to get those fresher tires compared to your competition. Make them have to do the undercut, where you can be in the better position coming down to the end of this race. Coffee also sits in an interesting position because he has 1 set of tires left compared to the 2 set of tires left for Rogers. If Coffee was to pit now and the caution comes out later in this race, he will be a sitting duck. So he's probably going to have to stretch it here farther than a lot of drivers. Rogers has the flexibility of having 2 tires, and also Buzzio does too in their pit stall.
In talking about stretching, Zach, these top 2 drivers have separated themselves and have stretched their lead to about 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds between the rest of the field. So these guys are on a totally different level, driving away from the rest of the field, trying to battle each other. But Gavin Rogers, you can see just ever so slightly that gap between him and the 7 start to increase a little bit, but that 7 can definitely make that outside line work, has that momentum, and that'll be the battle we've been talking about all night long, Zach. The outside versus the inside lane in the 7, not really laying off, not allowing any kind of slack to the 17. Gavin Rogers is really having to try and race a perfect race right now.
That it really is, and Rogers there driving it super deep into 3. That's where the 7's actually been getting better runs out of 4. The 7 just going up, the 17 just a little too deep, not able to get back to the gas like he confidently needs to. Down here in 1 and 2 though, that's where the 17's been better. The 7 here running up the racetrack, not able to get as good a run through that center as this 17 machine. So they're definitely better in different spots of the track, and that is going to make for an interesting ending of this race.
And everything will come down to the ending, and we still have a pit stop to boot about halfway through. In fact, already 45 laps left in this race. Zach, we're already in our fuel window if they wanted to pit early. So anytime between now and about halfway through the race, I think we've been talking about is the ideal pit window. Who will short pit, who will stay out on those tires, only time will tell. But right now we see the 91 getting passed by Tyler Dangler. 91 ended up front with 8 lap older tires, led a lap or two, but right now really falling through the field. In fact, as far as 11th at the moment.
Yeah, and you can really tell that going out there and running that hard has really taken a toll on his tires there. So really, Martin really struggling about 6 seconds back off the lead now once these tires have really started to fall away. And it just shows you how much it can snowball once you get there. But look at this, Buzzio, he's been in trouble. Wilson's got by him, so is Christopher Norris, and this is not what Buzzio's want to see. He's just continued to struggle in the longer parts of the run here tonight. That is unfortunate for him. He's going to need some type of help here in this last final pit stop to gain that time back, as it's about 4 seconds up to the leaders from him now.
Well, Zach, anything can happen when pit stop cycles begin. How many times have we been able to see throughout the season when someone tries to make a pit stop, they lose a little bit of handling on the car, end up being in a caution out. So anything can happen during green flag pit stops. These drivers trying to make it in and out quickly, but can definitely cause an issue and cause that caution, and it just being at the wrong side. And that's just where all these drivers are trying to balance. So they want to pit early versus having that incident of being caught on pit road as the caution comes out.
Yeah, being caught while the caution, or caught on pit road while the caution comes out, can end your night. So you got to make sure the timing is right, and really there's nothing as a driver you can do. You got to go with your gut feeling, hit the pit road when you feel like it's necessary. But if you know if things are going to go bad, you got a good chance of that. Oh, Blaine Wilson throwing a big block on that 83 machine, but the 83 clears him down into 3 and 4. But here comes the crossover. I think that was a very interesting move from the 18 there. He backed out of it, knew that the 38 or 83 was going to make a move. A little bit of contact coming off the corner there for those two. That's going to allow the 83 to clear and hold on the third.
A little bit of contact indeed from Blaine Wilson and the 83 of Christopher Norris getting together at that exit, and that's a very dangerous position to get contact, is that exit at turn 4. Like you mentioned it, the car unloads right around there, so you get a little bit of contact, you really upset the vehicle, and it can send you spinning around in a hurry. And he was able to keep both of these drivers able to keep everything under control. But as we talk about this, the front two vehicles, our front two leaders, have put about 3 seconds, 2.5, 3 seconds gap between this battle right here, and don't seem to be lifting up anytime soon. Zach, this may become a battle of the top two drivers.
That it very well might be, but still plenty of time left in this race as the 18 takes back the third position, as the 83 struggled once he got out in front of him. And that's the case that I see with some drivers. Some drivers are better at actually following. You would think, well, there's dirty air, but some drivers, it makes them underdrive the corner a little bit more. You can judge yourself on the entry on that driver up ahead of you. It can kind of back it up. When you get out there by yourself, you got to know where your markers are at. If you get out there in that clean air and just overdrive it, you'll continue to lose that nose. And I think that's what was the case there for that 83 machine. But Buzzio slots back to the sixth position as Shaw goes around. He's also on that 38 looking soon, but it's been a tough night though for that 21 as the run continues on.
Adam Buzzio definitely struggling, able to hold off the 38 at the moment. Jamie Ford got into the wall a little bit on the corner of exit 4, and Stephen Borbell, in fact, trying to capitalize. Stephen Borbell going around. I think he's one of our first cars to pit in, and right now I'm getting a notification Gavin Rogers may be coming in for his green flag pit stops. And yes, don't look now, but yes, Gavin Rogers in the 17 on lap 139 coming to pit road for hopefully maybe his final pit stop of the night.
This is going to be such an important stop for the 17 machine. No mistakes are needed here. He hopes it stays green where it all cycles through. He's going to be coming down to his box here in the next few moments. Cannot have any sliding through the box. That would really hurt his chances here, but we'll see. When does Coffee elect to come down? When does Buzzio also elect to? It's going to be interesting to see what these drivers do here as this run goes on.
And Buzzio, our leader at the moment, stays out, and that will put all those cars who came down pit road a lap down. More cars to come in, the 38, the 83, and I think the 56 look to come down as well to get that pit service. So the race starting to develop. Green flag pit cycles already underway, and our leader Alex Coffey still has yet to partake as he looks like to stay out for another lap to lead and see if maybe a caution comes out. The 7 looking to run a little long tonight.
Yeah, I think this is a case of he has one set of tires left. He knows he comes down now, this will be the set of tires he has to the end of the race. And if a caution was to come out then, he needs to have at least some type of fresher tires to be able to make up, and hold back people. So he's in a tough predicament right now, Alex Coffey is, and that was with that pit stop there in stage 2 to come down, get those tires late in the stage. That has put him in this sticky situation, but we'll see how much longer does he elect to take it. And right now, it seems to be going on and on here as he'll be looking to come to probably 30 to go here in the next 2 laps.
And he looks to only have about 6-7 cars on the lead lap. And Zach, as the leader, that's kind of what you want. If the caution were to come out and you needed to come back down, you need to keep your cars in the front and as many cars, or as few cars, on the lead lap as possible. But like you said, Zach, how long can you stay out and maintain this position and pace?
Yeah, that is the huge case that is yet to be determined right now. Coffee out front turning 32.057s as his lap times, and right here last time by Gavin Rogers a 30.56. You're looking at a 1.5 seconds there of lap time difference. That's going to be a huge gap now when the 7 comes to pit road, but the question will be how will he decide to make this work. And he's also going to have to deal with the newer tires coming through. That sometimes can slow you down a little bit also. So this last final 30 lap dash here before the 7 hits pit road is going to be one of the most important times of the race. Hossman, he's still out there also, as you see him up to 4th on the board. That's I think a good call from him because he has nothing to lose. Stretch it as long as you can go in that 78. Try to catch you a caution.
And that's what he needs after an incident earlier, getting caught up in something down the front straightaway. 78 looking to mix up the strategy, get himself back up front to contend for this lead. And still the 7, Alex Coffey, remains out on the track. Just got passed by the 19 of Stephen Borbell to get his lap back. So that'll lead us with 7 cars on the lead lap at the moment. So we have a lot still to transpire in these next 30 laps.
That we do, with 30 laps to go here before the final few pit stops start to happen. We're going to head to our final commercial break of the night here, folks. It's been a pleasure so far. This race has been action-packed. Alex Coffey, Mason Hossman, Gavin Rogers, Adam Buzzio. That's your order right now, the championship 4. Who's going to be the final champion when we come out of lap 175? You're not going to miss a thing as we head side by side with the Wicked Racing League.
And we are back, race fans. We just saw the conclusion of green flag pit stops, but the caution has come out. I think there might have been a spin on the exit of turn 2. Let us see. Looking back at our freaky fast instant replay, and that looks like the 3 of TJ Roberts coming down into the 69 of Tyler Dangler, causing our caution to come out for the 6th time tonight. Our 4th time for incident. And unfortunate, Tyler Dangler was actually running mid-pack, keeping his car clean, doing everything he can to stay out of all the chaos up front, and unfortunate for him, just got kind of come down on by the 3 of TJ Roberts.
Yeah, and this is a game-changing caution right here. Is the 3. Oh, back into the 69 once again there, but you know, loose off the corner there into that 69 machine, and Coffee was almost 18 seconds, 19 seconds back off the lead, and right now, you know, he has no sets of tires left for him. He's going to have to stay out here. He will transition to most likely around the lead position. But, man, oh, man, this is going to be tough because he does have 2 laps up the pace on tires, so he's going to be at a disadvantage there.
And this will be interesting. He'll come out. He'll only have a couple of laps. This is going to be interesting, Zach. Most of the lead lap cars anyway have come down for service besides him, and he might have actually waited just long enough to make these tires count. This is going to be very interesting to watch and see how the race ends up as we continue on. But right now, it looks like Gregory Shaw for now will cycle to the lead.
Yeah, Gregor Shaw going to cycle up here. I think Christopher Norris, it looks like he'll stay out. Plord also. You got Coffee, and then Rogers will be in 5th. So, this is going to be wild. It's a 5-lap difference on tires. I'm telling you, I think this was Coffee's probably actually only hope for himself is that, you know, that caution would come out because he was at such a disadvantage how long he stayed out there. It was going to be very improbable for him to run back up there, but now we're going to have a shootout, folks. Adam Buzzio back in 10th. He's going to have a chance at this also. This is going to be wide open to the end here, and I tell you what, you're not going to miss a thing here as we stay live with the Wicked Racing League to close out their regular season. But while we're under caution here, look at the top of the ticker. You can see it flashing yellow there. That is our own iRacing iFlag. And if you would like to get one of your own to put in beside your sim rig to let you know the visual flags stay out there on the racetrack, then you need to head on over to iRacingIFlag.com for their 64 LED visual flag system. It's one of the best sim racing products out there, and you can use that promo code FreakyFast2022 to get a discount at purchase there at iRacingIFlag.com. So thank you to iRacing iFlag for being a proud sponsor here at Freaky Fast. And while you're also checking them out, head on over to our merch store there at Store Frontier at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's that time of the year where it's getting cold, folks. So you should go out there, check out our hoodie selection there, as we're going to have more stuff coming into 2023. It's going to be a fun time here to see how all of our merch works out through the rest of these years. But now we're starting off here with some hoodies and t-shirts with our logo. So if you want to join the Freaky Fast fam, check out that link down there in the description. I'll get that out there in the chat here in the next few moments. But thank you again to Store Frontier as we have our merch through them. So make sure you go check that out and join the Freaky Fast family.
And I know I got my shirt a while back. Zach is absolutely just incredibly comfortable. So I love Store Frontier for allowing us to come on board and help us with some of our merch. Once again, loving all of our sponsors to come out and help us with this and bring us this kind of action for a championship race. You can't ask for much more. We are under 20 laps to go, and we're going to, like you said, Zach, get a shootout, and we're going to see which of our championship drivers finishes in front of the other. And we've even had non-championship drivers mix it up in the front of the field. So it's been a really hodgepodge night of strategies and just the way the race has turned out.
That it really has been, man, and this has got my nerves flowing. I know that I'm nervous for these guys. I know how much effort and time they put into these championship races, but it's going to be wild to watch here. I mean, you got the 83, the 51 up front on older tires, same with the 38 there. The 7 is in a very good spot. He's restarting up top, and he only has one older set of tires in front of him. He needs to get out there and get away because Gavin Rogers, Adam Buzzio, these two are going to be pushing lights out here on these brand new tires, trying to get every little spot here to come down to the end of the race. And I think this best plays out for Adam Buzzio even. He's been struggling on the longer runs here tonight. this will be a little bit of a shorter run for him. So we'll see how those struggles maybe can go away. He can flip that switch and be right in contention here, but you ain't going to miss it. These final 17 laps are going to be very, very spicy.
Spicy indeed. We are already lights out on the pace car. He is going to make his hard left turn onto pit lane. Two non-championship drivers leading the race, but a championship driver in the outside row of that second lane. 5 laps older tires than Gavin Rogers, arguably the fastest car all night long. We will see how these drivers end up finishing in 18 laps. But right now, we have a restart in front of us as the 51 is in control of the field, elected to take that outside line to maintain that momentum. And as the 51 of Gregory Shaw rolls through the restart zone, he gets a great launch from that outside line and is alone through the front straightaway into turn 1. But don't look now, Alex Coffey under attack already from the 17 to 17. Gavin Rogers sending it 3 wide and causes contact. 17 sideways into turn 1, but so far so good. We stay clean and green.
Oh no, this is huge there for that 17 machine. They're 4 wide almost down the back straightaway now as it's all stacking out. Buzzio has gone around the 17 also. He's going to have a shot at this now. He gets a little bit tight. The 91 up into the 17, and these non-playoff drivers getting involved in the mix, and the caution comes out here once again. It is getting wild here. This is going to reduce the laps, and whew, this is intense action there as the 17 taking it 3 wide there to start. The contact from the 38 almost sends him around. Then the 91 gets into him in 3 and 4, and then the 91, I believe, got some contact from someone else.
And just like that, the 78 Mason Houseman finds himself in another situation. Mason Houseman was on the bumper of the 91 as he was losing traction on that rear end. And you mentioned it, Zach, these laps are ticking away rather quickly under caution. You use about 2-3 laps every caution, maybe even 4 depending on the track size. So just like that, we're going to be another 3-4 laps short.
Yeah, that it is going to be, and it's going to be a good reset for Rogers there, but a big slide that is probably going to have those tires not feeling in the greatest condition for him. Also, maybe a little bit of damage, but we've seen how fast he's been all night. It's usually become on the long run. I think that's where Rogers is going to have to worry. Coffee there, he was able to maintain. He did not gain anything. Still going to restart in 4th, but Buzzio, I think he's the big one to talk about. Up to the 5th position with all that melee. He's got fresher tires than Coffee, but I tell you what, all these caution laps, this just brings the tire temperature down even lower. This is really helping that 7 machine, in my opinion.
Oh, well, the 7 and the 21, this will be interesting with Gavin Rogers losing a couple of spots through that scrum. The 21, Adam Buzzio, 7 of Alex Coffey, they're going to be starting almost nose to tail in different lines, but definitely really close proximity of each other. And Adam Buzzio has those 5-lap fresher tires than Alex Coffey. And with going to be less than 15 laps to go on the restart, all that give and take is out of the window. It's all take, no give, and we're seeing it, especially these last couple of restarts.
Yeah, that we really have, and I was thinking maybe a little bit more give to the the championship contenders, but it seems like there hasn't really been too much give. These guys have been sending it really all night long, trying to gain any spots they can, and they want to get the best finish to finish out their season. But unfortunate for Mason Houseman, it's not going to be a good ending to the season for him, as that front end is destroyed on that 78 machine and once again require damage repairs for that machine. He's going to be out of this championship contention, but it's going to come down here. Can Gregory Shaw get his first win of the season? Christopher Norris also in position. Johnny Shea looking for his 3rd win of the season. So we got a good mix there in that top 3, but the older tires for that group, it's going to be tough for them to hold back these fresher tires. But if we get cautions like this, you just got to fire off for that first lap or 2, and you can hold them off, I believe.
Well, Zach, I think it's going to be tough for these fresh tire cars. Throughout the last part of this season, last few races at these short tracks, we've seen the 83 and the 51 race each other really hard. The really aggressive side drafting, really aggressive just general racing. So these two drivers going to be side by side once again on this restart will definitely mix things up for the championship drivers as we go green, and only time will tell how it sorts itself out, ladies and gentlemen. So don't you go anywhere. Guaranteed here in the next couple of laps we will go green, and we will finally decide who wins this championship and the race.
That we will. It's going to be fun to watch, as this has been one of the more wild races of the season, and what a way to close it out, as they say. So I'm telling you what, I'm nervous, and I could only imagine being a driver right now, because it's just one of those scenarios where, it's all out. There's no give, there's no take, and you're just going to have to go out there and just pretty much find any little bit of pace you possibly can. So we'll see how it works out, folks, but this is going to be one for the books.
One for the books indeed, Zach. And I just, 16 races, we've come up to this moment in this league, this new league, this fresh league. A lot of these drivers, the first half of the season, were kind of tiptoeing around each other, wondering how to race each other. But as the second half of the season progressed, as the crunch for the playoffs began, we've really seen these drivers push each other, push their cars further and further, and it's finally culminated to this championship race, as we see non-playoff drivers, non-championship drivers, and the championship drivers all vie for the same position, all vie for the same real estate on the track. And once again, we are side by side, getting ready to go green.
That we are, side by side. This is going to be another wild restart here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Older tires on the first 2 rows. New tires from there on back. Who's going to be able to decide the championship? This is what it's all about. The first champion here at the Wicked Racing League at the Buttkicker Cup Series. This is going to be a special ending, and a one they'll remember for a long, long time. Don't miss it here. And if you have enjoyed the broadcast tonight, make sure you hit that likes button also, as that definitely helps us out with our YouTube algorithm. Thank you to all you folks tuning in all season. It's going to be a pleasure to call this one to the end.
Don't blink, because if you blink, it could all pass away. But don't worry, we're going to go green here momentarily. You see the lights are off on that pace car leading the field. The 51, our lead car, choosing the outside line once again, and he got a great restart last time. He is hoping to reproduce that effect this time, as the pace car takes a hard left turn onto pit road, and he waits until he sees that restart zone. He kind of waited a little bit longer, and he once again waited about halfway through that restart zone, and the 51 again, out like a rocket, doing a really good job to open up a 3/4 of a second lead already going into turn 1.
Yeah, really good job by him there, getting it fired off. And the 38 of Norris there does a great job through 1 and 2 to really take off himself. But here comes the 24, here comes the 19, but the 7 right now in position for that championship. Here comes the 17. He's going to be fighting tooth and nail with 12 coming to 11 laps to go. He needs to get up there. Same for Buzzio. So these two are going to be fighting every little bit. This could hold them back, and this is what Alex Coffey loves to see in his mirrors. He's going to be trying to take the lead up front, as now it's side by side. Christopher Norris to the outside of the 51 of Gregory Shaw. It's a race for the lead.
And right there, Christopher Norris going to the outside for the lead. But that allows Alex Coffey to get up. And Alex Coffey gets into the wall down the back straightaway. Going to cause a little bit of damage to that championship car. But he stays into the corner side by side with the 51. Christopher Norris currently leading the race. And the 7 will edge out the 51 by just a car length. But those old tires on the 51 starting to show their age, and he is falling back quickly.
Yeah, he really is, and now the stack up is happening. They're behind the 51 machine. The 17 is going to have to find the pace. The 51 goes up the racetrack. That opens up the door for Rogers. He goes into the door of the 24. They keep it safe, but now Blaine Wilson into the back of that. He goes down into the inside. Somehow we stay green. Gavin Rogers, though, trying to catch up with Coffey, who now takes the lead up front.
And Coffey trying to separate himself from everyone else to just not only win the race, but win the championship. And with it, he has 9 laps to go. Ladies and gentlemen, as the checker flag flies, you don't go anywhere. We will be back after the checker flag flies, and we will talk to our top 3 finishers, plus our championship winners. We see the 19 of Stephen Borbell hit the apron, has to catch the car, ride it up, and that is going to allow the 17 of Gavin Rogers to take that second place position. Now, the only thing separating himself from his race win and the championship win is that Alex Coffey car in front of him with 8 laps to go.
It seems like so many times this season we've seen these two go to battle late in the race. We've seen contact. We've seen close moments before, but this time it's going to be for a championship. And can Alex Coffey hold off the 17 machine? The 5-lap difference on tires, it may come back to hurt him, but 8 to go. The 17 looks to the inside. He's there on the corner panel. They stack up here coming off 4, and it's going to be side by side for the championship.
Side by side down the front straightaway, crossing the start finish one more time. 7 laps to go. pressure field racing as these two drivers are fighting for every inch of the track. But right now the 17 is going to edge out the 7 and the 19 is going to take the inside lane. But 21, Adam Buzzio, right there in the outside line in that third row. So all three of these championship drivers once again rising to the top, rising to the challenge. And there's the caution flag with 7 laps to go. That looks like it's the 9 of Chad Bean entering turn 3, causing this caution. So once again, Zach, we're going to have another restart.
Wow, this is going to change things up. And it was side by side between the 9, the 56, and the 18, and just some drivers going for the same room on the track. And man, it just ends up making the worst for them. But here comes the 9 down across the 56, and the 18 trying to miss it, but he's going to catch the grass. And look at this, he's going to go for a wild ride straight head first, almost into the outside wall. But this caution, it changes up everything. Rogers going to start in first, Coffee going to start in third, Buzzio in fourth. Our championship contenders all right in a similar position.
Zach, how does that struggle? You're not only trying to get the race, but trying to finish in front of other drivers and another restart late in the run. How do you calm yourself down? How do you get yourself reset for this restart?
It's so tough, man. I tell you, Rogers, he's loving this. I mean, he knows how good his restarts have been all night. This is going to give him maybe a little bit of breathing room that he wants. But I tell you what, Coffee and Buzzio, they know that this is everything till the end here, and they got to get a great start, because if they don't get a great start, they're only going to have 3 probably laps here when they do go green to actually make something happen, and that is such a tough thing to do when you just don't have the help.
Well, and Zach, we have hit the green-white checkered overtime finish our past 3 races, and they were just playoff races, not a championship race. We have a chance of seeing that for the 4th race in a row. This championship may be decided by an overtime finish, but we will only tell as these laps slowly tick away, as we are 5 laps to go here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The field under pacing again, trying to collect everyone, and we're going to see a great restart coming up here shortly.
Yeah, this is again, the nerves, they rise even higher on this restart, and it's going to be literally one of those moments that, as a driver, you're just hoping to get to that checker flag. That's kind of your thing that you need to see. You see the white flag first, and if you have a gap when you see the white flag, you feel very good. If the 7's on the back bumper, the 17 or the 21, vice versa, if that is the case, then you're not going to be able to breathe during that last lap. You're going to be looking in your mirror, and that's the toughest thing. When you're looking in that mirror so much, it's tough to hit your marks. So that is going to be something to watch out for. If they do get close, does the pressure make the 17 make the mistake to open the door, or does one of these drivers from behind even does the elbows get out, and does the contact happen? Because that this is for a championship. Anything goes in those situations a lot of times. So it's going to be wild to see. And I think when we finally go green, it'll probably only be two laps to go. So this is going to be a short little shootout for these guys.
Short shootout indeed. And Zach, you hit it on the head there. I think, will you put the elbows out? This is the last race of the season. We have a decent sized off season coming up, and that's plenty of time for these drivers to calm down and reset. If you're going to drive for a championship, if you're going to put it on the line, this is the race. This is the time to do it, and we will see what happens. It looks like Alex Coffey is going to line up behind our leader if 17 decides to take that inside line, and that'll definitely add to a little bit of the drama here tonight for the Wicked Racing League Buttkicker Cup Series, as these 2 championship drivers, even 3, as you see there on Adam Buzzio's windshield, may be really close proximity. Who will press the issue? Who will use that chrome horn, as they say, to gain that position and win this championship? The only way to find out is to stay tuned.
That it is, Carl, and man, this is what it all comes down to. This is the season finale, the season 1 that all these drivers have been building up momentum for. All of them have been looking to, really, gain any little ground on their competition, and it all comes down to these final 3 laps here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And it looks like when we go green, it's most likely going to be 2 to green. And interesting call. I like this call personally. Gavin Rogers, he elects to take the outside line here as those pace car lights go off. this right here is going to give him, I think, the best shot. It doesn't allow that championship contender of Alex Coffey to be on the back bumper. It allows Adam Buzzio to be there, and it's tougher from that second lane on the top to make positions up than rather that second lane on the bottom. So this right here is going to get very, very spicy if there was ever a moment. And Gavin Rogers, we've seen all night, has been so good in the restart zone. Can he do it one more final time to be crowned a champion?
You know, Zach, if I were anyone I didn't want to be, it'd be the 19 to Stephen Warbell. All those championship drivers literally surrounding him at the front of the field. I don't want to be anywhere around these drivers when they start really pushing. And will he be ready for the push that the 7 is bound to give him, trying to get that position and trying to not lose as much position on the restart? But we are about to go green as the pace car makes its way into turn 3 through turn 4 and eventually down pit road as the lights are off. We are 1 to green, and this will be an unofficial green. My checker will go green, and the white flag will come if no other flags will pop out before that, and then it will be the winner of the race, and that will be decided. But there you see it, the 17 in control of the field, rolling into that restart zone, and there he is almost as it starts. He gets a launch in the 21. Adam Buzzio actually did not get a good start at all. Adam Buzzio is going to fall back, but the 17 of Gavin Rogers is going to shoot out like a rocket, as we're so used to seeing. And right now the battle between 3rd and 4th is the 21 to the 7.
Down the back straightaway for the penultimate time here in this league for the Wicked Racing League. Here comes Stephen Borbell. He dives to the inside of the 17, but the 17 shuts the door side by side behind him as they come out of 4 to look for the white flag.
Single file for 1 and 2. Down through the front stretch, 17 takes the white flag. That is the freaky fast 1 lap to go. Our other 2 contenders in the moment, the 7 and the 21, are not in striking range. Right now, the 17, Gavin Rogers, 7 wins already this season to set him up for this championship run. Goes down the backstretch for the last time into turn 3 through turn 4. Not a challenger in sight. Coming out of turn 4, down the front straightaway, 17, Gavin Rogers is your Wicked Racing League Championship.
And what a way to do it, coming back from controversy there at the end with some contact between him and a few other drivers. And man, oh man, what a drive from the 17. This kid right here has had a great season, 8 wins, and what a way to cap it off here is the inaugural Wicked Racing League champion here at the Buttkicker Cup Series. This kid really drove a great race and really deserved it. Now, I'll tell you, Alex Coffey, he tried everything. He tried the Ross Chastain it. And, that's a risky maneuver on iRacing, but man, what guts it takes there is Adam Buzzio brings it home in the 3rd spot, and he's going to take 2nd here in the championship.
And that is great to see once again. Gavin Rogers doing the donuts, burning it down on another race when almost half the races have been won by that car right there. And now a championship. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. I promised earlier we talked to him. We will. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll catch our breaths, and we'll get all our drivers in a row as we talk to our top 3 finishers, and most importantly, that guy right there, our championship winner, Gavin Rogers. So we will be right back. And we are back, race fans, through all the drama of a late race caution. A couple of them, actually. We have finally determined our top 3 finishers and the champion of this race. But first, we'll talk to a championship contender, second place in the championship. Third place tonight here at Charlotte, Adam Buzzio. Adam, it is Carl and Zach up in the booth. You put on a great race tonight. What were you missing there to make a run towards the end and try and take the lead from Gavin?
We got a bad restart on the green-white checker. Gavin is so good on restarts. He's so good on them. And I'm not. It's not my strong suit. I'm the Jeff Gordon of restarts. Yeah, I just didn't get a good one. And by the time we got going, it's pretty much the last lap by the time we get up to speed here. Yeah, I think if we would have got a little bit better of a restart, we would have had something there. Or if we didn't get that last yellow. For whatever reason, I found a little something there at the very end on that sprint we had to the finish. And I was passing Alex and I was making ground up on Gavin. But we got that yellow, but that's how it goes, man.
Yeah, Adam, I tell you what, man, it was a valiant effort here to get third tonight and second in the championship in the grand scheme of things. But, man, what a wild ending to this race. Take us through it, because that was a rat race there at the end.
It was, man. Yeah, it was. We had I'm so happy the race went well. I mean, we had a couple yellows, couple hurt feelings, but nothing too serious. We didn't have race control the last 2 weeks, so it was really up to the drivers to police themselves, and everyone did a great job. So I'm proud of that. But yeah, I mean, it turned into a typical championship race, right? Pretty calm until the very end there, but it was exciting, man. I didn't get the win, but I had a lot of fun. Hope it was fun for everyone at home watching.
Well, Adam, I know we had a ton of fun watching you, not only tonight, but all season. And before we let you go, to take a little break, take your off season, any fans you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. So first and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Julie. Without her, I couldn't do this. I want to thank Trivista, Idealise, and International for being on the car all season long and everything they do for us, and the league as co-sponsors. Want to thank Buttkicker for being the primary sponsor of the league this year or this season. Hope to see him back next season. I know we had a couple guys watching from there tonight, so hope they enjoyed the show. Thank my mom and dad. Thank my teammates, man. They've been great all season. I'm super blessed to be on a team with guys to get along with so well. Sorry for the long list, man. A lot of people to thank, though. I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. You did such a great job for us all season. You really helped us extend our reach, and you put out such a great product for us. And we're very grateful to have you guys. And last but not least, all the drivers, man. When we started this in the beginning of the season, when we all left our old league, I couldn't have, you hope for the best, but I could have never hoped for this. This has been so much more than I could have anticipated, and the support from everybody has been overwhelming. So really thankful, happy the race went as well as it did. So,
well, congratulations on a third place race finish, second place championship placing. Good luck, and we look forward to watching you race next season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Shout out to Gavin too, man. He earned it this season. He did an incredible job. He was the guy to beat all year, so it was fitting for him to take it home tonight.
Fantastic. Well, good luck, and we hope to see you racing hard next season.
Appreciate it, guys.
And that was third place Adam Buzzio wrapping up his championship in second place. In second place of the race, though, is Steven Borbell. Steven, this is Carl and Zach up in the booth. As a non-playoff driver, what was your mentality going into this race, and how were you planning on driving those championship 4?
Well, I just wanted to help Adam as much as I could, and just be competitive. With me not racing for the past month, and I didn't practice this week either. I had no idea what was going to happen tonight, so I just wanted to go out and have fun, and ended up competing with them. So it was a good time.
Well, man, I tell you, congrats on second here tonight. It was a pleasure to watch you guys do battle. But coming down to the end there, how you like you said, you're trying to do your best to help your teammate there also. But how do you weigh going for the race win, but also racing Gavin there and trying not to cause too much of a incident there?
Right, and Gavin and I were actually just talking about it. About 2 to go, he gave me the bottom going into 3. and then closed it back up. And I definitely thought I was going to end up wrecking him and then wrecking basically everyone else behind him. And thankfully, I just slammed on the brakes and didn't let that happen. But basically, I was just trying to race him as hard as I could, and maybe if I got him off his line, that would allow Adam to come by. But it was a great race.
Great race indeed. I know I enjoyed, watching not only tonight but the entire season. You put on a great show, Steven. Before we let you go and let you enjoy your off season, who do you want to shout out to tonight for your fans?
I want to shout out y'all for doing our broadcast all year. An amazing job, sticking with us. I appreciate every one of y'all. In addition to just everyone that watches me, there's too long of a list to even to go forward. So I'm just gonna not say any names, but y'all all know who you are. Thank y'all for supporting me and watching me throughout the season as well. And congrats, Gavin. And big thank you to all my teammates, Nigel, Blaine, and Adam. And a great season. Thank you guys again.
Oh, we definitely appreciate that, Steven. Congratulations on your second place finish tonight. Good luck, and we hope to see you battling for wins next season.
Thank you guys. Y'all take it easy.
And that was our second place finisher, Stephen Borbell. But the moment you've all been waiting for, the race winner, the season winner, the championship winner, Gavin Rogers. Gavin, it is Carl and Zach up in the booth. We've seen you dominate all season long. Looks like you kind of had to work for it tonight. What were you kind of worried about as that last restart was starting to creep up on you?
Just kind of back racing there because everybody has been able to be real close on the short run. So I was just worried I was going to get stuck in traffic. But the line that I had, just running the bottom, like right up against the blue and white line, I had a little extra grip there, and nobody else seemed to really get down there that low. So I was getting a little peak of clean air, and I was able to get off the corner real well, and that really helped me. I knew Alex was going to give it his all, and just such an honor to win the championship. 8 races, 4 in a row. In fact, 4 of the 5 playoff races, which is crazy to me, but just such an honor to win this.
Yeah, definitely, Gavin. Definitely cherish this one. By the inaugural series champion here, that's going to be always something they can't take away from you. Also, 8 wins this season, 4 in a row, like you said, to end it. That's a great way to end it. But man, it almost all slipped away there at the end. How did you recompose yourself there to drive back up to that lead position?
Deep breaths. Try not to overthink about it too much, and just try to remind myself that I still have a shot, and just give it my all.
Well, congratulations. You were able to recenter yourself, push yourself to the win, to the championship. Any fans you want to appreciate, anyone you want to shout out to tonight with this championship win?
First, just a huge shout out to the admins, Nigel, Adam, Alex, Revenger, TJ, John Curtis. They just done so well with this league, especially being a first league. It's so cool to race for this league, and also have you guys do these races for us with Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's such an honor. And shout out to Nigel, as a paint scheme designer. He's done so well with these paint schemes of mine. Hopefully have some even better ones next year. Also shout out to my entire family. They've had a whole lot of people watching tonight, not just family, but friends and coworkers. It's just so cool. It's so awesome. Also shout out to my karting teammates, Gio and David. And yeah.
Well, I can guarantee we enjoyed watching your racing up here, not just tonight, but over the entire season. So congratulations on your championship, sir. We hope to see you next season perform some more dominating races.
Yeah, let's go win another one.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our championship winner, the 17 of Gavin Rogers. And it was just all fitting for everything to end up here tonight under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Zach, we saw a lot of action, a lot of door banging, a lot of side-by-side racing. And we saw that all year long, and it was just super fitting to see how this race turned out. And just the championship for everything kind of seemed almost perfect tonight.
That it really did, man. It was a battle to the very end. It was tooth and nail. Everybody giving up, whatever they could to get there I mean, we didn't know it was going to be the champion really with even 2 laps to go in this race when we took that final green flag. I mean, that just shows you how spectacular it was and just how amazing this overall race was there as you get to see the official results.
And of course, with the results, Gavin Rogers, Stephen Vorbel, Adam Buzzio, your podium finishers, Dallas Manis in 4th, and Alex Coffey finishing in 5th in this race, 3rd place in the championship. He will definitely have his sights on that next season. 6th place to Martin Morales, Jamie Plord in 7th, Lane Wilson in 8th place, Gregory Shaw in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is the 69 of Tyler Dangler. And unfortunately, Mason Hausman getting caught up in a couple of incidents, finished 16 laps down. So I think Mason is over the offseason is going to have to maybe think about maybe approaching one of those races, Zach, where you're thinking one might have gotten away from you. And through the offseason, how do you prepare for the next season? How much do you practice, and just how much do you keep everything going in pace with the holidays especially coming on?
It's tough. The best thing advice I can give, especially is, going through similar things. There's been times where, myself as a driver have lost championships, and you got to reset mentally. You can't get too down on yourself. You tried everything, especially with these one race formats, man. There's literally a 25% chance for you to win the championship. You have to go out there and perform that night. And sometimes in racing, there's things that happen that are not within your power, and it's unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate. But guess what? You can reset and say, I got here before, I can get back again. And that should be always your mindset as a driver is, if I've been here once, that means I can do it again. I have the ability to be there and fight for a championship. I just need to have my night come my way and, pull off what Gavin Rogers did. Just have such a dominant season where you come into the race with a lot of confidence. So I think over the off season, go off, do your thing, get your mental reset, and gain that confidence that you were in that championship for, and you were fighting for it till the very last end of this race. And that's all you can ask for, man, as a driver, is just to have a chance. That is all you need, is one chance. And in racing, if you have a chance, anything is possible.
Oh, you're saying there's a chance. Well, race fans, thank you for sticking with us all through this season. Freaky Fast broadcasting here. We are ourselves winding down. In fact, the Full Send Racing League is in their playoff race contention on Tuesday nights. So go catch them. You won't miss a thing as the year progresses, as the new year comes, the old year ends. Yeah, you hit that like button, you hit the subscribe button. You'll find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. We are on it, so you won't miss any moment of the action. But until next time, race fans, you stay safe, stay strong, and stay freaky fast.